debate that was fostering in one of our chats that I don't think Ahmed has seen yet, so I'm interested to see this. Ahmed, question. If you had to name the five biggest NBA organizations of all time off the top of your head, unbiased, the five biggest NBA organizations of all time off the top of your head, who would they be?
Los Angeles Lakers, number one. Like not in order, but whatever. Lakers.
No, try to go in order.
Man, bro, this guy, you didn't even ask me or tell me this. Lakers, I guess number one. Celtics, Knicks. Probably say at this point maybe the Warriors are probably in that top five, just because that run they're on. The Spurs maybe just because dynasty.
Spurs.
I don't know.
Okay, so I was having this discussion with Tiku and a bunch of our other friends, and I said the New York Knicks are the third biggest NBA organization of all time. Number 3.
They aren't.
And Tiku said no.
I think you can make the case. They're not even in the top 5.
That is insane. That is insane to me, dude. How are you going to say the New York Knicks are not a top 5 basketball
Because,
organization
like I
of all
said,
time?
because they aren't.
Who's your
being
top
honest.
5? I'm curious.
Top
Who's your top
5?
5? Yeah.
I'll say right now, you would have Lakers, Boston, Chicago, Miami, Golden State. Then you could
First,
talk about Spurs.
what is the
and Knicks.
criteria? What is the criteria that you go
What is
through
the
to get there?
criteria?
I would love
I
to
think-
know why
think
Miami is
market-
higher than the Spurs and the Knicks can't be in the top 5.
Because I have the market that you're in. Because now, when you talk about iconic, you have to look at the market that they're in. Miami's a big market in Florida. You know, Golden State in San Francisco is a big market. Of course, New York is the biggest market on planet Earth,
Okay.
right? So I'll give him that respect, and that's the only thing. Like we had this argument before. That's the only thing that makes the Knicks relevant, all-time historic, because for a legit half century, the Knicks have done absolutely nothing in basketball. Besides small pockets of success in the 90s, and that's it.
What do you mean small pockets? What are you talking about?
And then what do you mean? They had a nice little run from like 95
Bro,
to 2000
my
when
guy.
you made a little
Eric
Mickey Mouse.
Eric Spoelstra gets like this crazy respect for winning championships with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Has he won a championship with anybody else? No.
No.
How about before LeBron got there?
Well, he
Dwayne
was
Wade
assistant.
was
He
like
was-
about to leave Miami, probably averaging 30, right?
right.
Should be getting MVP shouts, but he's not
Which-
because
wait.
they're like 7th or 8th, right? That was
Well, I mean,
Eric Spoelstra's Miami. He's still young, Eric Spoelstra. After that, still right now. So they get credit for that. But when the Knicks are going to the finals, losing, okay, but still going to the finals, and
we're talking about 99 here, right?
2000.
Okay.
We don't get credit for that. That's just it counts as 50 years of doing nothing.
To be fair,
Making no
it was
sense.
a shortened. It was a shortened NBA season that year. Plus, you
What
got
season?
swept in the
2000?
finals. Yeah.
Okay.
The year that you guys
Went to the finals. What
finals.
year?
And you got swept 99. No.
What
what I'm
finals did you
saying.
guys go?
Which
In the
finals
COVID
did we
year.
go to? We went there in the COVID year, and we went last year. Right.
No,
we
I'm
took
saying,
the
okay,
Lakers.
but COVID
took
year, you
Lakers-
guys got huge credit, right?
Right. I still think we were going to finals regardless of COVID that year. That was just my opinion. Regardless, at the end of the day, you guys made a nice little run. Respect. Like I said, little Mickey Mouse fluke run. Like nobody even thinks about that. I think that people can't even like I've never had a discussion with anybody and people are like, yo, you remember that run the Knicks had in 99? Yeah, that was really good. Nobody, you know? So at the end of the day, respectfully, like
It's
I
crazy
said,
how much
you
hate
guys
this guy brings for the
are
Knicks out of
there's
nowhere,
nothing,
bro.
there's no hate. This
So
is all
weird.
facts, bro.
You know why? Because
This
this
is all
is
facts.
during like
Regardless,
Miami
like I
Heat
said,
getting
for
ragdoll
basketball
the national
reasons,
television right now,
for
but down 30,
basketball
whatever they are.
and for basketball reasons, the Knicks are not even close to maybe the top 10 for basketball reasons. I'm giving you it because you're in New York, you're in the biggest market. People know the Knicks, people know Madison Square Garden, and respectfully, the Knicks are more known for other teams and other players, iconic performances in Madison Square Garden against you guys more than the Knicks. Right?
I don't like it's. You cannot argue that the Knicks are without a doubt in the top 5, just because
Without a
of
doubt. And also, Tiku, like that
we
doesn't
are
support. That
iconic
doesn't.
global franchise, bro. If you
I've
go
never
outside
seen
the US and stuff
I've
like
never
that, then
seen
the
nobody
Knicks.
wear Knicks gear outside of New York.
I was in Los Angeles and I saw people wearing Knicks gear. Like,
That's such a
let's breathe a
lie.
little.
You're a
I
liar.
was in Hong Kong
You're
and
a
I saw
li-
people
you're
wearing
t-
Knicks gear.
You're a liar. You're
Okay.
maybe Hong Kong because
No, actually, I
NBA's
saw
pretty
I
big
saw
out there.
someone with a
But
Bulls jersey, but not Knicks.
right,
in Hong Kong.
exactly.
Okay, but that
Bro,
doesn't mean anything because it's Jordan. Like,
Jordan single-handedly in the 90s made that boom that made the NBA go global.
the Bulls are irrelevant now,
He
though.
played for the
Don't forget that. The Bulls
Well,
are
they are.
irrelevant now.
They are.
The Knicks have never
right.
been irrelevant.
But to be fair,
right?
fair, even as irrelevant as they are now, the Bulls had a nice little run in the early 2010s.
Okay,
Like you had a Derrick Rose.
You had
were
Derrick
in the Eastern
Rose,
Conference
correct.
Finals.
Have the Knicks ever been irrelevant? Ever?
Yes.
When?
100%.
There were
5 years
definitely
ago.
times. There were like maybe like after
Before-
that like 2000s like finals run. I'm talking about like early 2000s.
But the whole 2000,
maybe
you guys
to,
were
like,
irrelevant.
till Melo got there. Yeah, like nobody.
Yeah.
Really cared.
That was
David
like
Lee,
such
And
a
then after
small
Melo.
segment of
Eddie
like.
Curry and
No,
stuff
it's
like that.
not.
In
Because
my opinion,
you guys were not anything in the 80s. You weren't.
What do you mean not anything in the 80s?
the Bulls
what
are
are
not.
talking about, bro?
The Bulls don't touch the Knicks
We're
as
in
a
the
as a
playoffs every single
franchise. By the way.
season, like in the 90s.
They got more championships than you guys, and they're in Chicago.
All right, but see now
and
you're talking
everybody
about
knows
championships.
Jordan.
San Antonio
Well, I-
Spurs, therefore, are higher than Miami
Of
Heat.
course.
Detroit
problem about
Pistons
San
are
Antonio,
higher than
no,
Miami
bro.
Heat.
No.
Bigger market
No.
back then, right? Because now Detroit
No.
doesn't exist pretty much as a city.
No, but San Antonio is not a dude. You could for sure the championships matter for San Antonio, but they're not a big market. They've never been marketable ever. You don't go see anybody besides Wemby now. That's the most you're gonna hear about the Spurs in the last couple years. Besides the whole Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan.
I agree.
Mano.
I
blah, blah, blah.
100% agree. I think the Spurs are not relevant because they don't have that big market fame, right?
Right.
The Knicks are the biggest market outside of the Lakers. They're bigger than the Celtics. The Celtics carry the
agree.
prestige of the basketball
that's the only
championships
reason.
and all that, but the Knicks are the biggest market outside of the Lakers. So that holds a lot of weight, man. Like it's not a coincidence that MSG
Okay.
tickets are the most expensive in the world. And you can say, "Oh,
it's
I
very
know
easy.
that and
It's
all that.
very easy. It's very easy. The Knicks
Doesn't-
by default. I mean, bro, like even the Nets, just by being like here, they will get.
That's what I'm saying.
They will get some attention and stuff like that. So the
But that's
Knicks,
what I'm saying.
when you add the history going back all the way, then we have championships, we have Hall of Famers, we have all-time moments, we have arguably the best fan base, we have like no debate the best home court, and it's the biggest market. So I mean, like maybe they're not third, whatever, but they're like definitely in the top 5 for me. I think like obviously the Lakers can't question that. Celtics can't question that. Chicago, bro. If you take out Michael Jordan, obviously that's 6 championships, but Chicago before and after have been nothing really.
Yeah, exactly. I would
say
put
the-
Michael
You
Jordan
could say
in the
maybe
top
the
5
Warriors,
before the
Warriors
Bulls.
back then, had some good moments, stuff like that. Obviously won championships, and now with this dynasty and the Spurs, if Victor, like as like another dynasty or another run, then yeah, unquestioned top 5.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because like they're like the most bland
I would.
market.
Yeah, no, they really are. As a Spurs fan, I'll
Black
tell
and
you
white,
right now,
literally.
their market. Not only that, but I mean, okay, let's relax with the black and white because
That's why Kawhi Leonard
It's-
probably wanted to leave. You know that, right?
no.
It wasn't like the injuries and stuff like that.
No.
I mean, to be
Kawhi-
fair, when you look at Kawhi, I've always said it. He's like the most marketable player. Was Kawhi, and I felt
was
like he had
the
a good
perfect
No, I'm saying
situation
that's
at
crazy.
Spurs.
Even Kawhi
But-
wanted to leave San Antonio.
He wanted to
When-
leave because I think he wanted to go back to LA.
I think you guys
he wanted to go to his
give the
home.
Spurs a little more slack than they deserve because I can argue
What?
that plenty of players would love to come play for the Spurs.
No. No.
Wembenyama
Oh, yeah, yeah.
wanted to come
No, yeah,
play
of
for the
course.
Spurs. Wembenyama wanted to come play for the Spurs. Wemby.
It's a young player, dude. We're talking about
Why
young
the hell would
players.
the greatest
young players
prospect
wouldn't-
of all time want
I
to come
think
to the
back
Spurs?
then,
That's not no
definitely
reason.
because of that system and stuff
LeBron-
like that.
I
You
don't
have
think
now,
so
I don't know.
because
Trey,
nobody
Trey Young
went.
wants to come play for the Spurs. Nobody
Who
went because
went?
they had no spot.
Who went?
They had no spot. Where were they going to put?
Dude.
Who were they going to put on that team? Who did they have the chance to put
I've
on
always
that team
said.
that they should
I've
have?
always said. Especially when that KD Warriors team started out, I thought if Chris Paul goes to the Spurs, you have him on that team. That'd be an amazing. That would be the perfect
Well,
opposition.
he went to
and
the
matchup
Houston
to them.
Rockets.
But that's
Did
what
he
I'm
not?
saying. 'Cause
Around that
he-
time?
Yeah,
Or
he
was it
went to the
OKC?
Houston Rockets. He went to the Houston Rockets.
Houston's
I'm pretty
not
sure. I
really
don't
a
know if he got
franchise.
traded there or he signed there. Houston's
Oh, he
a
was traded there.
pretty big franchise, dude. In a big market, and
Eh.
they've won championship. They have history of great players, of playoffs, and they got history, dude. At
Who?
The
Houston.
Spurs are still
talking about
bigger
Houston?
than them,
Houston.
though. Spurs are
Houston.
still bigger than them.
Houston beat the Knicks. Did they not?
Yeah,
They've
sure.
been way
Sure.
more relevant than the Knicks have
Oh,
since the '90s. They have.
I don't know.
As
about
much
way
as you
more
wanna
relevant,
say
bro,
it.
to
like
be honest.
like
100%.
Houston
From
would
the
have
tra-
to win
from-
like
from the
5
90s when they won
championships to
2
be in the same discussion as the Knicks. Bro.
Houston won 2 championships, one beating you guys in the finals.
Stop.
2, you had the Tracy McGrady Yao Ming era, which opened that market to Asia like no other team has done since maybe the Warriors or maybe Kobe Bryant. Okay, with Yao Ming coming in. Then you have the Houston Rockets with James Harden, Chris Paul, and now you have a good young brewing team that's going to come out there in Houston. So don't sleep on Houston Rockets. They're a pretty big franchise. That's just my opinion. At the end of the
I
day,
do
like
think
I
I
said,
do think they shouldn't be ignored. I like the Houston Rockets and the Detroit Pistons kind of go under the radar. And I also think
Detroit.
although they
yeah.
aren't a historical franchise, I think the Toronto Raptors
I
have
would-
an
I would call it-
incredible fan base. An
Dude,
incredible
coming
fan
in,
base.
the NBA was founded on 3 teams: Lakers, Celtics, Knicks. There's no denying that. My point is, you're looking at the Lakers, 17 championships. You're looking at Boston, 17 championships. Knicks, 2 championships. Miami, as an expansion
First of all-
team, coming in 1985 or 84. I don't know. It was in the 80s.
Whoa,
more
he doesn't know
championships than
his
the
history.
Knicks? I don't know the exact dates, years, but
I mean,
mean-
it just so happens that the Lakers have probably like
In the
5
biggest
top
market,
10
bro.
players. Celtics have like 3 or 4 top 10 players. The Miami Heat were blessed that LeBron James came there. So
1988, the Miami Heat were founded.
The Celtics
Sorry.
also just fucking won a shit ton back then because
yeah, the Celtics
Since
in the
the
modern
year-
era are like come
since
on,
the
very
year like
suspect.
1990, how many titles did the Celtics have?
One.
One, right? So
Yeah.
I think we definitely have to ask. Don't get me wrong; they're still huge, right? When you think basketball, you think Lakers, Celtics.
I've told you this. I've
Rajon
told you
Rondo,
this.
Kobe Bryant. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure,
All right.
Rondo.
Rondo Metal World Peace. That's all I think about.
exactly. So before we go on to our topics, one last thing I'm gonna pull out of content form. So Anthony Edwards, baby, let's talk about him. Let's talk about Anthony Edwards. This dude. So the Minnesota Timberwolves are jacking that he's the face of the league. Now I don't know if I'm gonna go that far just yet, but Ahmed, let's talk about it, dude.
What is there to talk about?
I don't know,
It's-
man.
it's-
You're
it's
kind of a
almost-
hater
it's
if we're
almost
being
like
honest.
I was saying, like what is the like what are we talking about?
There's nothing to talk about.
That's what I'm
By
saying.
far, Anthony Edwards has more of a chance of being the face of the league than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Bingo.
Facts.
First of all,
He's
now
just a-
now we're just changing and making stuff up. I don't really care about the face of the league. I don't really care about. I said, bro,
think it matters.
like we were talking about back then. Who was the better player?
Yeah.
Said Shy, and we're talking
Okay.
about right now. Who's the better player? I say
Yeah.
Shy.
I disagree.
Like if you want to say face of the league, sure, Anthony Edwards. I hope so. He's American, bro. That'd be great for us. Like great for the league. It'd be kind of
Facts.
embarrassing if like the top 5 players
Canadian.
in the world are all international players. Kind of
true.
embarrassing.
That is true.
But what are we talking about? And honestly, bro, the only thing I don't like about
Top
Anthony
4,
Edwards is his
to be
fans,
honest.
bro. You guys like This guy's like 22 years old, like, and you guys are, like, riding him crazy. Or whatever.
Riding him for what? Does he not deserve to get the praise that he's due?
No. But
Look
it's like
how he's
crazy. It's
performing.
like,
Sure, man. You know, listen, at the end of the day, when you perform, especially in the big time moments, big time games in the playoffs, you're gonna get that
bro, you know what?
media. You're gonna get that praise and that like that.
Look at me.
I mean, like I said, I do think Anthony Edwards is a better player than Shai. I will like to retract my statements I had last year where I thought this guy was overrated. And honestly,
Yeah, that's
I'm
bro.
not gonna
You
retract it.
if
At that point, I
if
thought he
anybody
was
was wrong, it
overrated
was
at
you.
that
You were
point.
talking about Shy like he was like nobody.
At
Talking
that
about, bro.
point, I still think he was overrated because at that point, his game didn't elevate the way it did this year. At
You
that
talk-
point, he
They were
took that leap. He took a monster leap compared to
without
this
Shy.
last year.
Well, I mean, without Shet, they were like in the plan. No,
When last year?
last year, without like they
I
were
think so.
clearly.
I think they were there
That's why we were
for
clowning
sure.
Yoni for making that pick. Oh, I think like Oklahoma is gonna really be a really good team this year. Oh, thanks, bro. Everybody thought so
Mhm.
because of last year, and now
Yeah.
you know, maybe not first seed,
Listen, I mean,
but
yeah, they've definitely overachieved for sure expectations that people thought of them this year.
definitely, you know,
because
like
you look
have
at
a
all
chance
the
for
they're
fourth or
very
something.
they're a very youthful team. They don't have that
Sure.
much experience, so you have to give them that credit. That's why I told you, Shai Gilchrist has been playing better than Anthony Edwards this year. I agreed with that. This guy's still scoring 30 points. His team's the #1 seed. But we had this conversation a couple months ago. We could
He's
pull
gonna
out
finish number
tape.
2 in MVP.
Arguable. I mean, you would have Jokic, you would have Luka. You know what I mean? And then maybe you can have Shai around that area. I mean, wherever you want to have Jalen Brunson. But I've always said this, I think, and what I said last time we had this discussion, I think the Timberwolves now are in a better position to win than Oklahoma are. And you have to give a lot of credit for that to Anthony Edwards' game. That's elevated. That's getting better. And it's because of him more so. Because we know they have a great team around him. Conley, Gobert, how many picks they gave up for him, he's
Let me tell you
still
right now. Let me tell you right
doing
now.
very well. Go ahead.
Did I not say maybe like a couple months ago? I want to say like 5-6 months ago that right now I would like at that time that I would pick Minnesota to beat to beat
Beat
Oklahoma
Oklahoma? Yeah, you did.
in a series. And by the way, if
But it's
like
not that's
the
not a
Lakers
crazy
are
take.
so stupid for not
Yeah.
trying to get Oklahoma in the first round and trying to go after Denver.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because
I
they
agree with
they
that.
would beat Oklahoma.
I would agree. Yeah, no, I agree.
And if Zion's healthy, I don't know if they beat them, but that's a really tough series. Maybe 7.
Yeah,
So,
no, I agree with you.
like, you know, respect to them, but they're definitely beatable. And I think like Minnesota is definitely in win now mode, and they have to be with obviously Rudy
Mhm.
Gobert and that trade and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So yeah,
So what the point I'm
They
trying
have
to
to.
make is that I understand that Oklahoma
but
is that they have a certain timeline. They're achieving expectations. They shouldn't be the #1 seed with all these young players. On paper, the talent's there, and they're still doing that. But at the end of the day, when you look at the Timberwolves, they're better suited to win now, and a lot of that has to do with Anthony Edwards. So I'm gonna give him the credit more so than I would give Shai
no, no,
for
no, no, no,
Oklahoma.
no.
That's just my
Bro, if that argument literally goes in favor of Shy, because if you
because they're
really think about
achieving
it,
expectations. But
if you really
realistically,
think
they're
about it,
not a shit. They're not a contender.
the main reason why, because look, the
It's
roster,
not the main.
if you compare rosters, right, and if you compare like actual franchises, like Minnesota has to win now because of that Rudy Gobert trade, because Karl Anthony Towns is on the clock, because at any moment they will trade him. So they have to be a first seed competing every single year. Oklahoma is doing that by default. The like the Suns like got swept. Okay, Oklahoma also swept their opponent, right? And were very impressive. And nobody's talking about them. So they just keep moving on. But they're in the same spot as a team that has to win now. And it's mainly more so I think because of the roster, more so of Shy. Shy is more of an MVP like in that regard. Because bro, like they should get dominated by any team that have a center. Really, I mean, we're seeing it right now. Like Jonas is baby and Shet, or was, and they still win. And they have obviously a good team, but Shy, man, The numbers he's putting up, I said before, it's Michael Jordan-esque
I mean,
numbers.
I think if you're looking at the playoffs right now, you're looking at how Chet's playing, how J Dub's been playing. You
Yo,
know,
J-Dub, what
they've
I
been
say,
playing.
most underrated guy in the league.
Sure, I wasn't. It took me a while to get on that train because I was looking at this guy. I'm like, especially last year, I'm like, I don't know. People are saying this and that, but this year, especially in these playoffs, to me, I'm sorry, bro. Like, this is the thing. What I have about certain teams, I got to see what you do in the playoffs. Point blank. Period. You know, that's what I'm trying to say about why I think Oklahoma they're achieving expectations, and I respect what they did in regular season. But I got to see what you do in the playoffs. You've gotten a very favorable matchup with the Pelicans without Zion, and I'm seeing Shai play amazing for sure. Right? He's been playing
Not even
very.
amazing. Just okay.
He's been playing. He's been playing really well. I think people are not giving him enough credit how well he's playing. But you're having guys like Chet. You're looking at how Chet's playing, and you're looking at how J Dub's playing. I'm looking at Minnesota. Who's on Minnesota that's giving that same level of play to help Anthony Edwards? The only player I can say realistically is Gobert. And he's not someone that's going to give you 40, 30 something. He's going to do what he does. That's Gobert.
I mean, Carl Anthony
You know
Towns
what I
literally
mean?
scored 62 in like 3 quarters, so
I mean,
he can do it. Jaden McDaniels
could do it.
has improved his shot in the last couple of years.
Alexander Walker, who's been playing
Mike-
very well for him. Nas Reed, these guys, but these are guys that
Six
are
man
role
of the year.
players. Yeah. But I'm saying in the playoffs this year, I'm talking about. They've been playing well, but I'm saying Chet's giving you, he's playing like one of the best players in the league. J Dub's been playing like one of the best players in the league. I'm looking at Minnesota. I'm looking at Anthony Edwards taking that step, that against Suns, who is a very flawed team, especially when you look at the overall depth of the team, you look at the coaching of the team. But to sweep these guys,
Bro, honestly, the
ridiculous.
more
So let's get into the NBA playoffs, right? We got some crazy matchups so far. We just finished talking about Anthony Edwards sweeping the Suns. I don't know what you guys want to start with. I don't know if Ahmed wants to start with the Knicks, especially because that series is not done and it might infuriate him a bit. I know Tiku's worried about the Miami Heat right now. Tiku, are you guys out? Is it over? What's the score right
7 minutes
now?
left.
We're down 30, bro.
You're down
He'll be
30?
out.
Yeah.
Within this podcast, he will be out.
That is insane, man. Down 30 is kind of crazy.
I don't duck no smoke. I'm here.
No smoke,
I think it's very cowardly of people to talk shit. We literally don't have our best player and we don't have our best scorer against the number 1 seed Boston Celtics that have won 60 games. And it
Didn't that happen last year with Giannis?
Did that happen? Giannis came back and played.
Yeah, like when they were like down 3-1 or something.
So what? He played. And he played well.
Just a
And
weirdo.
it's not a weirdo thing.
Weirdo how
Jimmy
your
Butler-
brain works. Whatever, let's go. Let's keep going.
when Jimmy puts up 50 points on you, and you're gonna lose.
Okay.
Rewatch the series. That
Not
doesn't
this
take
year,
away from us beating. That doesn't
1,
take
2,
away
3.
us. We beat you guys
Cancun.
though, right? And we beat Boston, right? And we were the only team to get a win. Denver at home in the whole playoffs. Actually, till now, Denver haven't lost. You can clap all you want, but if it was the Knicks fans doing that, you guys would be doing.
Oh, I don't know.
Backflips.
It might be like a Manchester United thing. It's like Eric Ten Hag. We were the only team that have 41% actual possession against Manchester City. We did not get total
but it just shows.
dominated.
It
You're
just shows
bums,
us,
bro.
bums.
Bums.
Okay.
Professional bums. Let's go. Move on.
Professional
Let's go to
bums.
the NBA playoffs.
you-
I think, bro, the best series has been Knicks and us and obviously Philly. Every game has been must watch, bro. I mean, you want to go through like game 1. I mean, what really started, I think, game 2, that epic collapse by Philly. Crazy comeback from the Knicks. Obviously, I can't hear you, Yoni. Still can't hear you, my brother. Okay, so we lost Yoni. Yeah, I think what was it, game 4?
Yeah, I hear.
Embiid drops 50 for them to get their first win. Then Brunson goes ham in Philly. I think averages 43 across those 2 games. And then Maxey last night. Maxi last night. That was some performance. And what was it, game 5? Yeah, bro, that was ridiculous. Maxi, that was coming up. Like, I mean, he has been really stellar in these playoffs and really all year. That was some performance. And to do that in the Garden, season on the line, I mean, absolutely fearless. Some of the finishes, the drives are ridiculous, bro. Like we have two guys running after him. We have shot blockers, like some of the best shot blockers in the league, and like a 6 foot like a 6 foot guy is just driving in there, fear with no fear at all. That's crazy. And the three was falling like Steph Curry. But yeah, man, this last night was really like more of a karma for I guess that game 2. And now we're going to Philly. Very confident going to Philly. I think this Knicks team. I won't. Maybe after we win the series, I'll give you the reason why. Like, I truly believe we can go to Philly and beat them. But obviously, I think tomorrow night we have to finish it because Game 7 is gonna be crazy if it comes back to the Garden. So tomorrow night, uh, I mean, bro, they're gonna be frustrated, annoyed, but that's what it is. So I think it by far though has been the best series. I think yeah, like no debate there.
I mean, I think if you want to talk about level of basketball that's being played, I mean, I love the Clippers Mavericks series. I think LA Nuggets has been a very
Yeah.
entertaining series. You know, even though it's been 5-1, it's been every game has been Showtime, amazing. Yeah, I mean the series has been great. You know, this is NBA basketball. This is NBA playoffs. No buddy bullshit. No, players want to win. You know, as much as Embiid gets all the flack for all this dirty play, which
No,
he
no,
is
no,
doing. It
no,
is dirty
no,
play.
no, no, no. He is
What do you mean?
unbelievable. He is
As a
unbelievable.
player, you're talking about as a
No, no,
player.
no, no. I'm like obviously, bro. The guy averaged
Oh,
like 35 and won MVP.
well, he's been playing like
He is
one of
an
the best players
he is a
since last year.
disgusting human being for the things he's doing, bro.
Yeah,
Awful human
yeah.
being, bro. Awful. Like him and Kyle
As
Lowry on the same team together should be illegal, bro. That's
yeah,
illegal.
no, for sure. Yeah, no, he's definitely been doing a lot of dirty plays. But I think a lot of that comes down to and why he does
I'll still
that,
take him in New
so
York
he
though,
can
as you say.
took it right out of my book. What was I saying about how I think a lot of why he's doing that is so he can change the game. When stuff like that happens, I think a lot of that favors to how Embiid plays, because as you get more frustrated, as you see him do stuff like that, as you get out of your mojo, it favors Embiid. I think last game, you looked at last game, he did a couple things. I seen instances where the Knicks actually pushed back and they didn't let that get to him. And you seen that game where Knicks should have won comfortably, at least in the fourth quarter when you guys had that lead, you know? But when you guys fall into the trap of Embiid, and that's what makes him a very good player. And this is one time in the playoffs that I haven't seen him do in a while. Because I do believe Embiid's an amazing player, but you look at the past, his performances has he's a playoff downer, right? Can we agree to that? He
Yeah.
doesn't live up to the expectation of top 5 player in the league. You know what I mean?
No. I think,
Well, Embiid.
bro, like compared to other great centers, his resume is embarrassing
Right. Especially in the
in the
playoffs, to Eastern
playoffs.
Conference Finals. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You know, the comparisons to Jokic. Jokic right now is about to go
Compared to
probably
Jokic,
repeat
compared to
again.
Dwight Howard, my guy. Dwight Howard,
White, for sure. Right.
uh,
Right. At least he made it
Magic
to
to
a
the
finals,
finals,
right?
my guy.
As the best player in probably a crazy East back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, had to go up against LeBron's Cleveland team, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, but you look at his performances this year, I think he's been playing like a top 3 player in the league in the playoffs. You could talk about last game. I think he had a very down game last game for sure. Lucky that Maxi did what he think. He's an amazing player himself. I think
Oh shit.
Dwayne Wade said there's 2 players in the league that remind him of himself, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey. And it's kind of
Dwayne
unfortunate
Wade.
because Dwayne
Dwayne
Wade
Wade
said that.
gives
Yeah.
himself too much credit, man.
It doesn't when you were in your diapers shitting yourself,
What did you just
Dwayne
say?
Wade was winning a championship.
I
Huh?
was out of diapers by the
This
time he
guy
was
said
No. You were
drafted,
in
brother.
diapers.
I
No, you
was
were in
I
diapers.
was out of diapers
And
by the time he was drafted. And then
anyways. Anyways, what did you say, Ahmed?
bro. This guy Yoni just, bro. He says like 5 things the entire podcast, and they all have to be the 5 dumbest
No,
things
it's
of all time, bro.
he's trying to troll me, and it's to me, and but this is it's getting to me because I'm seeing little kids nowadays on Twitter
Bro, like
saying who is Dwayne Wade? Dwayne Wade's the third best
well,
shooting
Dwayne
guard of
Wade
all
is the
time.
easiest comparison. Donovan Mitchell, like
Of
4
course,
years ago, was
he
like
reminds you of Dwayne Wade.
D
For
Wade.
sure.
Now it's Anthony Edwards, and then in 4 years
Yeah.
it'll be the next guy, whatever.
Yeah.
Wayne
Nah.
Wade's
Well,
like
yeah.
like
Well,
the
Dwayne
third
Wade's a very
greatest shooting guard of all time, by the way. Like
yes.
not just a
Yes.
throwaway.
I am
Thank you.
trolling,
I know.
sort of.
I know you're trolling, so I had to troll back. You know.
All right,
Anyways, Tyrese Maxey did, but Embiid this playoffs with all this dirty shit, all this emotion, all this foul baiting, this and that, it's fueling him, and that's why he's been playing it good. And you have to give credit to that from a competitor. You have to give credit for that. Now, is it dirty? Yes, it is. And you can't do the shit that he's doing at his fucking weight. You know, kicking guys in the fucking balls, stepping on them, doing this, doing that.
Grabbing their legs.
It's
just
nonsense
falling
for sure.
bro. Like
It's nonsense.
what are you doing?
When I've seen this guy live in person, this guy's the most gigantic guy I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah,
and
he's a huge
and-
guy. Bro.
And
Pause.
and to
Pause,
be
yeah,
as
pause,
skilled,
pause.
sure, no diddy.
No,
When you
Diddy.
see him do what he does with the ball, the way he can post up, take you, dribble past you, take it to the rim, dude. He's an insane player. For him to do all this foul baiting shit is so unnecessary, and that's what kind of gets me mad. You know,
I mean,
like
it
James Harden,
works.
guys like
That's the
that,
problem. It
it
works.
does work. That's the issue. That's the issue.
It's not his
his
fault that it works.
It's not his fault.
Thank you.
That
No,
that the refs.
He's unbelievable.
No.
He's disgusting.
That's what I'm
Ahmed,
saying. It's
you
not his
would
fault
do
that
the
refs
same
are letting him
thing
do stuff
if
like
you
that.
were a player. And
100%.
it's fine. Like it's fair.
But that's
I
what I'm
used
trying
to
to say.
I remember when Harden was getting a lot of slack for doing what he used to do, and I used to
Dude.
hate it. I used to be so
I was
mad.
defending Harden.
And
No,
then
no, I'm just saying
exactly.
Embiid, like, it's like unnecessary, bro. It really is. It's like
Yeah.
there's no
I agree.
place for it.
I mean, you seen that game in Philly.
And if
where
anybody's to
he-
blame, it's the refs.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Not even just the
It's
refs, the
refs to blame.
NBA. I blame the NBA, not the refs. Listen, the refs are to blame too, don't get me wrong. But it's up to the league to
But
set
it's just
that
Embiid
precedent.
is unnecessary to that.
I mean, listen,
But, yeah.
grabbing what's his name's leg was kind of crazy
No, that was
That
was-
those objections. Nah,
because that doesn't help him at all.
Every game is something. Every game.
So
But listen, tomorrow night, Game 6, it will be pretty much a
It'll
home
be
game
nice.
for us. So
It'd be-
have a chance to close them out.
Well,
We'll see.
I've seen that they bought like 2,000 tickets and they're giving it away to like.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a lot
first
of Philly fans
responders.
in New Jersey, so this
Yeah.
could be a little.
Yeah, I mean it's a fucking
See,
2
wait,
hour
who
drive.
bought 2,000 tickets?
I think the owner of the Sixers and also.
Oh yeah, I
Michael
seen
Rubin-
that. Nice. That's embarrassing.
Michael
That's the
Rubin?
Brooklyn Nets
Why?
stuff.
But he's giving them out to like first responders and.
Yeah, but we know
that's
why
like
he's
his
doing it, though.
excuse.
You know why he's doing it.
I mean, I think it's a good thing.
Well, you got
Let's stay
Knicks
in the
fans
East.
that are
Let's
louder.
stay in the East. Obviously, like Boston's gonna go through, but there's really not much to talk about. Miami's obviously injured. No Jimmy. They finally beat Miami. Congrats. Orlando versus Cleveland, right? I don't think like every home team has won in that series. So Orlando, it's pretty much we expect them to win. Going back to, I mean, bro, like that last game, Bankero, if you just took some like more like if his IQ was a little higher, bro, like that game could have been over with. He was taking some unnecessary tough shots, and sometimes he was
This
hitting
is
them.
learning experience.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
some of those shots were
First class.
completely like unnecessary. Step back threes, like air ball. Like, what are you doing? Hold the ball, like run a decent play. But then again, the Orlando Magic offense is like hard to watch, bro. Even at their best, they're hard to watch.
Yeah, good
So-
players though. I think their teams will
No,
watch.
yeah, I
for
mean,
sure.
like their defense is legit. Like they have two of like a top 10 guys in the league, Suggs and Isaac, and obviously
Franz Wagner is
solid,
amazing.
solid team, but Cleveland, I have no respect for them no confidence, no confidence. JP, what's like their coach's name? JP, like Bickerstaff.
Bickerstaff. Yeah.
JP Morgan.
He will get fired this season, bro. He's embarrassing. Like he has no idea what he's doing, bro. Like
Very talented team.
Darius Garland has lost his entire mojo. He's basically like a spot up two guard now. Like when I'm watching, Evan Mobley is like basically just a rebounding defensive guy. This is a guy that was compared to Giannis like 2 3 years ago. It's like they have some moves to make, and they're expected to lose to Boston, but I mean they're talented enough to make it tough. So, but
In
we'll
on
see
paper.
what happens with that. Pacers, Bucks. I guess if you want to talk about that.
I mean, what did anyone expect, really?
No
I'm s-
Giannis, no
No
Dame.
Giannis.
I'm surprised the Bucks even
But
got
but
one.
but the thing is that even
The
if
Bucks
they
won.
healthy, based based on like the regular season
Yeah.
series, obviously like Indiana embarrassed them. Like
Yeah,
you
but
think
the Indiana Pacers, their form has kind of dropped off, even though they made
and that
that
was
big
with no Siakam.
acquisition. Yeah,
Siakam's been
that's what I was
going
gonna
off
say.
Siakam.
In the playoffs, especially, respect he's been playing good. But that's what I was gonna say. I mean, even after Siakam came, there's been that, especially Tyrese Halliburton after he came back from injury,
No,
his form dropped off a lot. Doesn't mean they're not a bad team, and they were always gonna make it difficult because they had that history between the Bucks. But obviously without Giannis, and obviously without Damian Lillard getting hurt, it was always gonna be tough. But with all that being said, the Bucks literally won last night with no Dame or Giannis. So it just goes to show that the Pacers themselves are not really a threat. They're not as
yeah,
much as
the like
whoever faces them next round, whether it's the Knicks or the Sixers. I do think whoever comes out
yeah
of
for
that
sure
series
for
is the
sure.
favorite and will beat them. And Indiana, this is what Indiana are. You know, I think they probably need another piece, but can they get that other piece? I think Rick Carlisle is an amazing coach, and I think a lot of the success that Indiana's having is because of Rick Carlisle. But you know, I just don't think they have enough talent. Plain and simple.
They're
You know,
like the exact opposite of the Magic. Pure
right,
offense, no defense. So like
right,
if they outscore you and they hit their shots, they could beat anybody, even
yeah,
Denver,
yeah.
maybe.
I mean,
But
maybe.
like they play
Tyrese
no defense
Halliburton
No,
at
has
all.
kind of
So
dropped off, honestly.
if if they do get past
yes,
oh they really lost last night,
Yeah,
Indiana.
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Pat Bev dropped
It's
12 points,
embarrassing.
13 assists. Chris Middleton has been
That's what I'm saying. You
fantastic this
can't.
entire series.
That was an elimination game, and you losing to a team without Dame, without Giannis.
But even with Dame and Giannis, they were like unconvincing. But I mean, obviously, yeah,
Right,
big help. Yeah,
right.
Pat Bev in 2024, and you're losing. Oh my goodness, bro.
Bro,
Pat Connaughton,
Chris Middleton has
Bobby
been
Portis.
insane this series, man.
Ay, ay, ay. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Chris
come on.
Chris Middleton's a good player,
That's why it's so frustrating for the Knicks
and
fan.
he's been
Oh, you could have
right.
had like time off. You could have had rest. Oh man, finish him off tomorrow. Let's go to the West. Let's start off. Obviously, we already talked about OKC and the Pelicans. No
We have to talk
Zion,
about.
and it was Brandon Ingram. I mean, talk about like your stock going down, uh, like in the worst time. Like he's gonna get traded this offseason, for
Yeah.
sure. And not good for me. He's one of my keepers in fantasy, but not for long. Uh, so yeah, Oklahoma
I
advanced 4-0, youngest team in a while. Like I think we're like average age of like 23, 24. It's ridiculous what they're doing so
something
far.
like
But
I
yeah,
say.
They remind me of the Spurs 2 years ago.
Yeah.
the Spurs 2 years
A
ago.
lottery pick
When
every
they were
year.
like 11 and 67, whatever they were.
You're
Lottery pick every year.
you remember
Paying
when
for
I called
Wemby
them
for 5 years.
the best young core in the league, and
Yeah,
Ahmed was
that was
like
yeah.
Like said, Keldon
infuriated.
Johnson, best young corner in the league.
All right, let's have some respect for Keldon Johnson, bro. There's a lot of teams that will
He's
take
very
Keldon
good.
Johnson in a trade,
He is,
Very
100%.
bro.
good. No, he's a good player.
He's bro. You know what he is? He's a poorest man. RJ Barrett.
What are you
Like
saying,
That's pretty
bro?
wow,
bad.
bro.
That's
What are you
pretty bad.
saying?
That's
Like
what he know.
RJ Barrett
Bro,
himself
like that's
That's
what I'm
not
saying,
true.
Tiku.
being a poor's man is crazy.
But that's not
But the
true.
thing,
That's
So
but,
crazy.
but you know what's crazy though? When you look at that you'll be like, Keldon Johnson, he'll be good off the bench. He'll be a very good role player. So at least like being a poor man's RJ Barrett, but being a role player, like it kind of fits. You know what I mean?
Bro, he was better than RJ Barrett like last year. He was
No, he's
putting up
not.
better numbers. He
No,
was putting up
no.
better numbers than
I'm
RJ Barrett.
convinced. I'm
No, he's not.
convinced,
He's 15
Yoni.
and
I'm
7,
convinced,
like,
Yoni.
career. Okay, let's move on.
I'm convinced, Yoni, that you've watched maybe 0 Spurs games
No, I've watched
in the
He's got
past 2
Keldon
years.
Johnson
no
play.
idea what's going on.
In the past 2 years,
Bro,
I don't think
he
watched
thinks Tony Parker and
one
Tim Duncan
regular
is still
season.
like out there fucking like
He still
Isn't
thinks
isn't
Thiago's
is
the roll
he
high
still thinks
screens. Bro.
Thiago splitters coming off the bench.
Do we
bro.
still have Danny
He's
Green
winning,
shooting
bro.
3-pointers for us?
You got
Like,
Boris
where's
Diaw.
Boris
bro? Where's
Diaw.
Boris Diaw?
Yeah. So wake up, stop
guy, bro.
running this Spurs fan gimmick that you're doing.
It's not a
because
gimmick, man.
It's a gimmick. No, it's a gimmick, bro.
Yeah,
Because
actually,
it's like,
where's Matt
yo,
Bonner? I was like, what the hell? No.
yeah, for sure. You know?
Bro,
Stop
Keldon Johnson, once we trade him, will surprise a lot of people.
The
I
one player.
promise.
Well, we know.
Yeah,
promise.
sure. That just means your team is garbage.
No, it
Uh.
doesn't mean shit. It means he's a
No,
good
it
player.
does.
It means he's a good player.
I do.
Keldon
think he's
Johnson is a
You
good
wanna
player.
know how bad he
You,
is?
but the
Like,
point is,
he couldn't even score 20 on a horrible team.
What are you talking about?
He's not a 20-point game scorer.
I
on a
feel like-
bad team.
Bro, I whether it was last year or 2 years ago, I'm positive Keldon Johnson was like in the conversation for All NBA, like third team.
what?
Yes, he was.
No.
Like I said, I don't think you watch your team, bro.
Bro, I swear to God,
team,
bro.
Quote unquote.
This guy was averaging.
Your fandom.
This guy was averaging 25 points with Kelly Johnson on 2K, and now he thinks it's real life, bro.
No, hold up.
Crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
NBA is double. That is.
Anyways.
Keldon Johnson in
Anyways.
2022, 2023 was averaging
average,
22
17?
points
0.2 on 42%
22
from
points
the field.
with
Wow.
45% from the field,
Wow.
5 rebounds, 3 assists.
On
Fantastic
a
defensive
horrible
player.
team.
Fantastic
good role
defensive player.
I'll take him over
No,
him.
no. If you average that on a bad team, and like, nah, he's not
22
like, a good
points is
player.
not a horrible average, bro.
What?
22
I
points
mean,
per game is
how
not a
many
horrible
shots
average.
does he take?
He averaged 22 points per game.
Yes, in 2022, 23.
I know, but like to be fair,
You really said all
that's-
NBA. That's hilarious, bro.
Bro,
Yeah,
I
the All
swear
NBA
he was
22
in the
points is
discussion for All
No, he
NBA
was.
third team.
No, he wasn't. No,
Yes, he
wasn't.
was. Yes, he
No,
was.
he was not, bro. You
Okay.
just literally making.
Yo.
You're literally making stuff up.
I swear to God.
Because 22 points is like a third option on the team nowadays.
It's not
What?
even about the points. Like whatever. He averaged 22 and 7 or whatever.
And regardless, bro, dude,
Right.
he fucking
They
he
were on
took
a horrible
17
team.
shots.
and he's
He took
not good.
17 shots a game.
Why are we
bro.
talking about Keldon Johnson, bro?
I don't know how we came to that, but I think we were talking
Let's get
about
to
what series?
actually
Okay.
like let's just finish it off because like that one's already finished. Denver Lakers,
Oh, I mean, what a that
bro.
was
You can explain that in
amazing
numbers
series.
because I think like Lakers have led for how long?
I think last time I seen it was like 142 minutes, the whole series, which is a big amount compared to.
And the
Denver
point
Nuggets.
differential was like +2 Denver the entire
Right, right. But this
Nah,
is
yeah.
the thing.
Very
If you remember
tough.
last year's Western Conference Finals, even though they got swept,
Oh yeah,
every
very
game
close.
was close.
That
you
was
know?
a close series.
But at the end of the day, good teams finish out games, and that's what Denver did. Jamal Murray, Jamal Murray is somebody that I had a little bit of like doubt. I didn't think this guy was going to be that player, that second option that was going to take Denver to the next level. I always thought it was going to be Michael Porter Jr., who was probably the better player this series.
Yeah,
But,
Michael
but
Porter was crazy.
was nuts, and he does this all the time against LA. He loves to play the Lakers. It's just easy money for him. But the way this guy, I don't know what happened after that bubble series against Utah, where this guy was averaging maybe like 40 points a game. He took his game to another level, and there's a lot of discussion I've had with other people. I think he's one of the most underrated playoff risers of all time.
Wait,
He doesn't get enough credit. He's one of the most underrated playoff risers of all time. Like, he doesn't get enough credit for being that player in the playoffs that elevates his game, that does the big time moments, that does the big time shots, and he doesn't get enough credit. He really doesn't, because of course Jokic.
We're talking
Everybody
about
loves Jokic. And
we're talking about
everyone
Jamal
gives
Murray
him all
here?
the credit. Jamal Murray.
because
You
I
know
was looking
how
at
I
I was
feel
looking at
about,
Keldon
like-
Johnson's stats.
You know how I feel about Jalen Brunson. right?
Right. Right.
Like Jamal Murray is literally the same exact thing. Like
Doesn't
you want Jalen Brunson to be Jamal Murray.
doesn't
Right.
Jamal Murray have like the
Like
most
obviously,
50-point games after Kobe and Michael Jordan in playoff history or
yeah,
something?
I see in the
Could be.
playoffs, his resume is ridiculous. But
That's
obviously, the
crazy.
regular
Yeah.
That's
season
but who
That's what
cares
not
about the
has
regular
not yet
season?
has never made the All Star team, All
No
NBA and
problem.
stuff like that.
He doesn't
said
need to.
injury
He has a
issues.
ring.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's got one of the weird, like very weird careers, uh, ever. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think
He's just
like if he and again, like we'll get to it, but should they win again, and
yes.
he will be doing the same thing. I'm very like he's so confident. Bro, the guy dunked on LeBron. You know, the right like in that game,
Yeah.
he yammed it on LeBron like it was nothing.
They wiped that
Lamb.
footage out from social media. Like you
Bro, I
can't
didn't
even
see it
find that shit
nowhere. They,
anymore.
bro, the
You
commentator
can't
said
find
nothing.
that
It was
shit.
like nothing happened. It was like, let's
Yeah.
just move on.
Hey,
Let's
if you
go.
dunk on LeBron, that shit's like
Or
lost
whatever.
in
It was
it.
like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And like, bro, and some of the finishes, obviously the game winners. This guy is like, he is really like, it's crazy. Maybe,
Tim, you
bro,
gotta give him
maybe he is
respect.
the best Canadian basketball player in the world right now. And
Could,
maybe it's not
could be.
Shy.
Could be. No, listen, hey, when you're doing that against the Lakers, who, you know, obviously
Anybody.
they've had their struggles. Yeah, for sure. The struggles is gonna be interesting. We'll see how he does in the Timberwolves series. I think that's gonna be he needs to play a little bit better. Doesn't mean he's playing bad, but I'm just saying he's gonna need to play
And he was
better.
hurt that game too.
with
The
the-
last game.
Yeah, yeah, the calf injury. Also, I'm gonna give out a shout out a very underrated player, a guy that's had a lot of, slander throughout his career. Aaron Gordon has been showing up. He's been doing big time plays, big time defense. Aaron Gordon, even last year in the playoffs, he was very well. But I think this year he's been better, and I think
Yeah,
he's a very
very
underrated player.
efficient player. Like very
Very
good player.
efficient.
Yeah.
Just he's just a winning basketball player.
Perfect player that in that
Yeah.
system. But
Yep.
that starting lineup, I see a lot of people talking about. That starting lineup is starting to become one of the all time great. Like that's a perfect starting
Yeah.
lineup.
But that's
Let's
all
relax,
that all
though.
comes
Murray,
down. That
All-time
KCP,
great.
Michael
no,
Porter Jr.,
no,
Aaron Gordon, and Jokic. I
Yoni.
mean, come on,
All-time great, brother.
You
Let's
yeah,
relax. I don't even
yeah.
think that's the best starting lineup in the NBA right now.
bro. They literally close out they do the same thing against everyone, and nobody can stop them, bro. And now this is 1 year. If they two-peat, which I expect them to do, by the way, if they two-peat,
Me too. Me too. I
like
think if
literally
that
unstoppable.
happens, if Jokic wins another MVP,
He is.
it's another championship, as crazy as it sounds, I think he's better all time than Kevin Durant and Curry.
Jokic?
Why would you even bring
Yeah,
up Kevin Durant? Is let's
because
just
Kevin
come
Durant's a
on.
top
Steph
15 player of all
Curry,
time.
I think is legit. Like that would be a legit argument. I think right now, Jokic is like flirting with that top 15.
That's
So if he
What
wins
crazy.
this
another
guy is
championship and
doing,
another MVP
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and a Finals
and I think
MVP, I think
you,
he would be in that top 10. Like
and
because you would
also
have him and
he's
Hakeem.
there as a top 5 offensive player of all time.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He really is, bro.
He's lit the what we're seeing right now from this guy. As much as I hate to say it for what
Yeah.
reasons, this guy just plays basketball. Like they talk about players that play basketball the right way. This guy, I don't think he's ever had like a bad possession of like selfishness, of like dumb plays. Every
Bad
time he
possession,
has the
bro. I don't
ball,
think he's had a bad game like since when.
yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Like he
And
doesn't
he
like
just
he doesn't like he'll never have ever score 8 points,
and
4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Like
and
maybe Embiid might do once,
I
but
remember
Jokic never.
watching Jokic 4 years ago and saying like not even before that. I remember watching this guy play when he took over the job from Nurkic. I mean, I was like,
Oh yeah,
dude, what the hell did Denver doing? Why would they do that? Because Nurkic was very good for Denver. I don't know why they would trade him. They would talk about this kid Jokic, and I would watch this guy play, and I was like, dude, every time he has the ball, the offense is just so fluid. It's so easy when he's playing. It's like so pleasant to see with your eyes, the way he can literally work with an offense through him and not be a negative towards him. He just plays basketball the right way to a level that's like he makes it look easy.
Too easy, bro.
which is too easy,
Bro,
which
and
is
I
fucking
think
nuts, bro.
what's the most impressive part, like last year he swept him, and this year it was in five, but
Yeah,
he was like outsmarting maybe the smartest basketball player of all time. You like
yeah,
people talk about what LeBron James.
mm,
I mean, DeMar DeRozan is telling yo he knows our plays. Rajon,
yeah,
like obviously Rondo, like
yeah,
Rondo's going head to head. We were talking about Chris Paul, the
mm.
smartest basketball players of all time. LeBron is ahead of all those, and Jokic was like
Just looking
orchestrating the
like
offense and telling people where to
it's
go and two plays
yeah,
before and seeing what
yeah,
LeBron's gonna do. It's bro, that was the most impressive,
nuts,
very impressive
nuts, and
last year and this year. And
I think
honestly, like like you were talking about how you were first really starting to see after the Nurkic, and obviously everybody after was like, wow, they traded away Nurkic, so this Jokic guy better be the like the real deal. And after first couple years, like his stats and stuff
yeah,
like that, like you're like yeah.
weren't
But for
there,
me,
but
for
yeah,
me, I think it was in that COVID run, right? And the Western Conference
yeah,
Finals, Denver, right,
yeah,
versus Lakers. That's
mm-hmm.
when I was like, yo, I think Jokic is the best player in the world, but he just can't
Really,
prove it. He just can't
yeah,
prove it yet. And then Jamal Murray gets hurt a year
yeah,
after, and then he really can't prove it yet.
yeah,
And then as soon as bro, it's kind of like Michael Jordan. As soon as
yeah.
if Murray's healthy, Jokic
That's
is
it.
gonna win the championship every single year. I think.
Yeah.
And because right now even like Boston can win 70 games stuff like that. Denver is the favorite right now, as long
Yeah,
as
for
it's gonna.
sure. Also, them against Timberwolves is going to be a very good series. I think can Minnesota beat them? Yeah, I agree. I think we're looking at the two best players in the playoffs playing against each other. Obviously, not literally because Jokic is a center, Edwards is a shooting guard. But these guys are the two players that I think have separated themselves from everybody else. Um, and they're playing at a high level. Jokic, I don't want to sound like we're like
Uh,
glazing this guy, but dude, he deserves like I,
No, he's a
it.
very good
It
basketball player,
fe-
bro. He
it it
deserves
feels
his
like people
flowers.
don't
no,
understand
no, no,
how. I
because
feel like people don't
there's
really
some hate
understand.
crazy hate around him. No, like,
This should have
am
been
I
his
wrong?
fourth
I don't
MVP in a
know,
row,
man.
if we're being honest.
I don't
Bro,
know.
like obviously, listen,
Yeah,
I don't even want to
he
bring his
deserves to
name
win
up
MVP.
I think the hate is selective.
because a troll. He's obviously a troll,
Right.
and he's obviously a weird guy. But like Arena's saying it like he was like the worst MVP ever. Are you crazy, bro?
Oh yeah, that's nuts.
The hate
Like
is
that's
very
like you can't even
selective,
respond to that.
and you can tell that it's coming from like legit hate. Like it's not people saying they don't like Jokic because they legitimately don't like Jokic. It's people saying they don't like Jokic because they can't stand how good he is. I think. Like he's just such a good basketball player. If you're gonna come out and say he's the worst MVP, that's a crazy thing to say. You can't say that and like
Maybe
be serious,
it
bro.
pisses people off even more that like bro, like you know for sure, like Tatum and Brown, they probably worked all off season, and this guy Jokic is like in Serbia, like hanging out with his horses, and like
Watching
this is
fucking
just
horse races. Yeah,
like he
no.
don't even really like this is just another day for
But
him.
this
Like he
is
just
it
wakes up 25, 20, and 10, whatever.
it's it's
See
also
you guys later.
it's also
Now
so
Jokic
good
is
for basketball.
spectacular.
It's also so good
Um,
for basketball because this is a
speaking of,
player who
I guess
focuses on the right things. Like in terms of how do I put this?
He's just there to play basketball, bro.
He's there to play basketball, but
There's
in
no
the right
agendas.
way.
There's
that's
no
what
Like
I love about
here.
Kevin
it's
Durant.
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
I
LeBron
hate about
in
Kevin
a
Durant
lot of
too.
ways. Like
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately LeBron has a lot of things going around like around him like in terms of the media and stuff like that. Jokic is lucky enough to where he doesn't have that. Like he does not
Yeah,
have cameras in his face 24/7. Maybe it's
but he
because he's not a
chooses to
marketable
do
player.
that. He
Yeah,
chooses to
but
not
Well,
have
but
that.
I also don't think
back home,
LeBron
he's probably
chose.
like legend.
Also, he
Sure.
plays in Denver.
Yeah.
That
No,
plays
no,
a big
yeah,
part
yeah, yeah,
too.
100%. So like I think him
No, I
playing the way he
mean
does is very
like
good
it
for
don't
the
matter where
sport.
you play because obviously right now without John Moran playing in Memphis, Anthony Edwards playing in Minnesota, it don't matter. It's because Jokic is like that's just like he don't really care for it. You know,
For
he
sure.
don't
Yeah,
spotlight. He's just there to dominate
He's
and move
there,
on.
yeah.
That's it.
unselfish, facilitate the game, that's it. And it's good to see.
He's very. I think he's very similar to Tim Duncan. Very similar.
Yeah, that's a good compare. That's a great comparison.
Nothing special. I mean, as players, it's like they were two different players in terms of how they play, but in terms of like how being so dominant, like boring. You know what I mean?
They're just
Like
there
they're
to
very
play it the
boring
right
players.
way. X's
Yeah,
and O's, bro. Straight up.
yeah.
Boom.
That's it. Yeah.
Uh, let's go to that series that you were talking about. I think like you said it was the best series, right? Let's talk
In
about the
terms of the
Mavs.
basketball being played, no agendas, no narratives, no nothing, no beef or nothing. Just straight basketball. I think this is a very enjoyable series.
Mavs Clippers. Uh, Obviously, in recent time, Luca has owned that Clippers franchise.
Oh yeah,
Um, but I
bad.
think okay, like the Clippers, are they better without Kawhi? Oh, or like with Kawhi or without Kawhi?
I
I think
I don't. I think they're better than a injured Kawhi on the floor
yeah, like
because
it's
he's clearly hurt and he
better
kind of
to
held
not have
them
him on the
back.
court.
Yeah, I think the way James Harden has been playing these playoffs, which is like vintage James Harden, he's been playing amazing. Respect that to him. Last game, he literally willed them to win. Respect to Paul George as well. He's been playing amazing. Um, but I mean, I've always had high hopes for this Clippers team when they're healthy. The issue is they're never healthy. You know, Unfortunately, that's just what they have to live with,
It's
especially with
crazy.
Kawhi's health. I mean, I don't remember the last time he's been healthy in the playoffs. Um, but this time they have a guy named James Harden who, you know, isn't the James Harden of last like couple years ago for sure. But the way he's been playing is playing like that. So when you got a guy like James Harden do what he does, you know, Paul George has been playing on a amazing level, and I think this isn't the last or first year that Paul George has done very well with the Clippers, with why being hurt, and like you said, Luca's always had a very good time playing against the Clippers in the playoffs, but this is a different team. So, do the Clippers are the Clippers supposed to be up 3-1 right now? If Kawhi didn't play that game, you can make the case they probably should have. It doesn't make sense to play Kawhi if he's not 100%. Hobbled player, you just wasted space. Not even as a decoy, you're good. You know, Especially when you're playing high level basketball against a guy like Luca, who himself, the questions of his health this series, and then you're looking at Kyrie Irving. I mean, Kyrie Irving has just been different. Fucking, I think this is the first time Kyrie has been settled down and happy in a place since maybe Cleveland.
We don't know that.
Maybe
Seriously,
We
maybe
don't know
maybe
that.
like Boston his first year before he got hurt.
I'm
when
not
you look
gonna
at the way
lie.
he's playing basketball,
He
when you
might
look at
not
the way
even be
he's been
happy
playing
there
basketball,
too,
man,
bro.
I mean, I'm just basing it off what I see on the
It's been a
basketball
while.
court.
It's been a while. That's
You know
It's
why?
been a
Because
while
like
since.
Ahmed said, he looked happy in Boston too in the beginning, and then what went down went
mm,
down.
But I'm just basing it off the basketball. Um, we're not talking about Kyrie about other shit. You know what I mean? We're talking about his basketball ability, and I think maybe being in Dallas, even though it's a little bit of a bigger market, it's not as big as like New York or Boston or Cleveland with LeBron James. Um, so yeah, it's a very beautiful. This is playoff basketball. It's amazing, amazing. When you watch that last game, bro, coming back from 30 to making it a fucking back and forth battle between
oh
Kyrie
the
versus Harden versus Paul George, dude. These are the best players
heavyweight like
in the world.
plugging it out, bro. Yeah, and like
It was just,
same
it was
thing
amazing.
that last game in Lakers and Denver. That fourth quarter, back and forth, going for it.
Yeah. That's
LeBron
it.
gassed, absolutely gassed. It was something
Mm-hmm.
to see. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just going back to that series, Cavs. I mean Mavs and Clips. A lot of pressure on both teams. Obviously, Dallas kind of going all in for it. Don't have their draft picks and stuff like that going forward. The time is always ticking on Luca and Kyrie because Kyrie, like, listen, he's balling and we'd love to see it, but at any moment it could be something with Kyrie. Um, so they have a lot of pressure on the Clippers, man. Every single year, same thing. When they signed Kawhi and PG, everybody said the only thing that can possibly ruin this is if Kawhi is not on the court and PG gets hurt as well. And man, every single year it's always something. Harden, like you said, has been balling. I think, bro, what if Kawhi didn't play? They're up 3-1, and which is crazy to say because Dallas I thought had a real like were probably like dark horse. Luca was playing like the second best player in the world. Kyrie's balling, but now it's listen, man, it's tough. 2-2 going to the Clippers. I expect Clippers to win. Then it goes back to Dallas. I expect Dallas to win, and then Game 7, anything can happen with Luca and Kyrie. So you and then that's tough, man. Every single year, but also like they always give like a great series. So
Yeah, yeah. I still think Dallas will win the series, but it's
really,
all depending on Luca's health. I think his health is very key. If he's not 100%, um, obviously I don't think Clippers win. And also, you have to. We know James Harden's had a couple good stretches in the playoffs. Can he continue this level? We'll see.
Let me ask you guys a quick question before we move on to the next. Um, do you think Kyrie Irving not being selected to Team USA was a disrespectful choice
I
in a
think
way?
yeah,
so. When you're play,
Jalen
when you're
Brunson didn't
picking
get
up
picked.
guys, when you're picking up guys like Drew Holiday,
That's
Tyrese
true.
Halliburton,
Tyrese
that's pretty
Halliburton,
good.
yeah, whatever.
I get it. You kind of want to add someone that gives you something different from just being a scorer. But dude, this is U.S. basketball, bro.
Is Tyrese Maxey on that team?
I don't think so.
Wow. Yeah,
I mean,
let's go.
yeah, yeah. But like you said, Jalen Brunson not making this kind of crazy. Too.
Wait, Jalen Brunson's not on Team
Bro,
USA?
they like they picked up Joel Embiid. Now he's
Get
American
the
out of
fuck
nowhere. I
out
thought
of
he was
here, bro.
French
That's
or
crazy.
Cameroon. Bro,
Yeah,
imagine him on that French team. What are they doing, man? Him and Wemby.
Well, that's not France's fault.
What are we talking about? He could have played for France.
Yeah, Embiid chose to play for the US though. It's not like France said don't come.
No, I know, but I'm saying I said imagine if Embiid chose to play for France with Wemby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, NBA playoffs
that'd be
set
good too.
tomorrow. Tough, tough game for the Knicks. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, should we move on to Champions League? I think there's a couple things to talk about there. Nothing too crazy. I mean, Ahmed's in the semifinals, so
Yeah, bro. Like
I'm
I've been
interested
I've
to
been
see.
carrying this podcast in the Champions League, really just football. Like imagine I wasn't a Bayern Munich fan, and it was just
Didn't you guys
Manchester
lose the
United
league?
stuff.
Didn't you guys lose the league?
We
So
literally win the league every single year. Now we don't win the league
oh,
as
so
much. Now you guys
yeah,
win the
yeah,
league. Now
yeah.
you guys go.
So now all of a sudden the winning the league doesn't matter to Bayern fans, right?
What do you're literally proving my point. I would love to win the league every single year. That's what makes me way more different than you. That
Why?
I continue to want it. You say, oh, it means nothing. No, I want to win it every
Bro, I
single.
was being sarcastic. I'm saying you're
You're a
coming off
doofus, bro.
as if you don't care about winning the league. Like you care, bro. You're mad.
Of
Bayer
course
Leverkusen
I
is about to
care,
be the
but it's
first
like
ever
whatever.
invincible side.
They're literally undefeated. That's what it takes to like, come on, bro. Literally prove my point. Whatever. And we're like the most embarrassing undefeated team of all time, bro. Like 90-minute winners in stoppage time. Like obviously, like they and like the truth in Germany is like it's been coming. Like the officials and stuff like that. You going 2 years now. They didn't want Bayern to keep winning the league. It's been coming.
Do you
But
guys
next
remember?
year we'll be back
Do
and
you guys
stronger.
remember back then when we did a controversial comments and someone said Tyson Fury used a gypsy curse to like sort of make himself I forgot what it was. Basically, they were saying Tyson Fury used like a gypsy curse to beat his opponent. I forgot who his opponent was at the time.
Wilder.
And I kind of get the same vibes from Ahmed with Bayer Leverkusen. Like every time they score a last minute winner, he just pulls up in the chat and goes, "This is the work of Satan," and then runs away for like 12 hours. It's the funniest thing in the world. But
Nah, it's like not even like it's not even
it's
funny, bro.
crazy. It's actually very
Chavi
weird.
It's embarrassing
Chavi inherited that black magic from Zidane in Real Madrid.
for real.
Took it to Leverkusen.
But yeah.
No, I mean, dude. I mean, obviously we're talking about the Champions League right now, but when you look at it, dude, longest undefeated streak in top 5 league in history,
46 games.
something like that, right?
But I
But
mean, like the most
that's
important, like in the Bundesliga wise, the most important records are in store for Bayern. Points record,
yeah.
goals scored, and stuff like that. I mean, like they won't touch us. Even wins.
Sure, if you guys.
I mean,
if it makes
Bayern,
you feel better.
Bayer
If it
Leverkusen,
makes us feel better.
if they go undefeated in all three of those trophies and tournaments, that's insane. That's probably the craziest
Bro, and listen,
achievement
like
ever in football, in my opinion. I mean,
I've been saying
it's a
this for a
fake
long
treble,
time.
but it's insane.
You guys have to respect these German teams a little more. You know, like we're seeing it this year. You guys have to respect them a little more. Like it's all fun and jokes with this Farmers League and stuff like that, but like you guys literally spent 100 million on all of our players. Like you guys, like every team in the world wants Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, like every team,
They're good.
like Musiala. Like you guys would beg. Anyways, let's get to the
If
semifinals.
if it makes you feel better, Ahmed, I'll say they're good.
Who? Who talking about? They're
Germany.
good. What the
Good.
hell? Like,
If
good.
it,
I
just to make
watched
you
Manchester, bro.
just to
I
make you
watched
happy.
Manchester United employ Sofian
You
Emery.
can't you
That guy
can't
is the
tell
worst thing I've ever
you,
seen in my
you
life.
keep
How are you
talking about
mad?
United like I don't agree with you.
How are you mad that
No, I'm saying
Tigu
England.
is
England,
saying
like English.
German teams are good?
They're good, bro. I'm just to make you happy, bro. They're
That's
good.
insane, Tiku.
Why are you
I
mad?
like
Like
Tiku
being
says.
condescending or something or whatever. Whatever. Let's move on to the semifinals,
I'm trying to be a nice
which
guy.
which offer two German teams.
Attack me.
I'm still looking for the English teams. I'm still looking for Manchester United. Is it Conference League this year?
No,
Conference League?
I don't even think we're gonna
What
get Conference League, to be
Not
honest.
probably
even
won't.
Conference League.
We
To be
probably won't
honest,
even make that. Yeah.
I think
I mean, the way Newcastle's playing.
I
North
think
Four.
Ten Hag
Anyways,
is a genius tactician. So what he's doing is he's missing out on Conference League, so that we only worry about Premier League next season, and we're gonna win it all.
Mm,
Write it down.
yeah.
let's get
That's
to
a
the
great.
let's
That's a
get-
what a master tactician. He won't even be here next year.
Write it
To
down.
even. That's how great he is. Amazing.
Oh
before
God.
Anyways,
before talk about the semis. I just want to talk about the quarterfinals against Arsenal. My little children. You know how I feel about Arsenal, right? Uh, people like bro. Certain football fans and they show their knowledge and their age and stuff like that. Never in a European tie will Arsenal be a favorite over Bayern Munich. It don't matter who, and nobody understands, and nobody has seen Arsenal improve more than I've seen Arsenal go from a bombing and being eighth to now. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. They're a very good team, one of the best teams in the world. They're not favorites against Bayern Munich in the European tie. Stop it. Having said that, let's get to the semifinals. Semifinals. Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. I mean, this is the European classic, the two best teams of all time in Europe. I mean, we're talking about like legends. We're talking about like the. What's so funny, Yoni?
No, nothing. Keep going.
What's so funny?
No, nothing.
Such a okay.
what the fuck?
But you said the two greatest teams of all time, bro.
He said that.
Yeah, he said Bayern and Real Madrid, the
Bro,
two
you
greatest
literally,
teams of
you,
all
you
time.
Well,
literally
one
gotta
of them
get
are
get a
definitely
grip on your life, bro. Get a grip
one
on
of
your
Bro,
them.
life.
One of
come
them.
on, Ahmed.
Seriously.
You gotta be serious when you say things on the
seriously,
podcast, bro.
I don't think anybody has Bayern in their top three. Seriously, outside of Bayern fans,
Who are these people you're talking about? Some
people, the streets.
like you think I care about who like
The Knicks
those
fans,
opinions?
the
Nah.
Knicks fans outside MSG when
Like
Tiku
the
goes
Well,
to visit.
you have to care about their opinion, bro.
No. I don't
Even
care about
people
what
that like
some fat English dude in like Manchester thinks about Bayern Munich. He has no idea what he like. No idea. I understand and I appreciate Manchester United. I understand. Okay, I know how good and big Manchester United are.
Thank you.
What are we talking about? We have 6 Champions League.
Who
So-
says who says it's United in the top three? I'm just saying there's people that say
You said Europe, correct, Ahmed?
You think Barcelona are bigger than us?
Ahmed, you said in Europe,
Okay.
like as in Champions
Milan.
League.
Milan are bigger than
In
Bayern
Europe, in the world,
all
in
time.
the world.
Wait,
I know,
so
bro. I knew when I was gonna say that I was gonna trigger you guys. 'Cause you guys are like,
no, no, no.
this
We're
is
not
the
even
only thing you guys
triggered.
have left to hang on.
See,
You know.
now I'm triggered because I thought you
Where-
meant in the Champions League and you had somewhat of a claim to that. Somewhat.
What do you mean,
But
somewhat of a claim?
overall,
Oh my
you're gonna
God, I'm
put
moving
Bayern
on,
in
bro. I'm moving on.
front of Barca,
Okay, okay.
in front of
What?
AC Milan,
Bayern in front of
in front of
Barca
Manchester
is
United,
nuts. Front of Liverpool.
in front of Liverpool,
Mm.
In what? In what? In the world?
in the world, brother.
Yeah, all
Oh
time.
my God, this guy said Liverpool, bro. Liverpool, bro. Guy said Manchester
They have the
United.
same
I'm
amount of
saying,
Champions Leagues as you.
let's move on. Let's move on, bro. Let's move on.
Probably
AC
more.
Milan has more Champions Leagues than you.
It's great.
I don't understand, man. Like,
You
I'm not
guys
saying
really,
Man
bro.
United is one of the
You
best
guys
teams in
really
Europe.
like.
Overall in the world,
Maybe
top three,
it's
probably.
because of me. Like maybe you guys like maybe if I was a nicer Bayern fan, you guys would be like a whatever. Maybe I'm too like in your face and stuff. Like
Aggressive. Yeah, outgoing.
yeah, I'm
I
like
think-
whatever.
Cocky,
Like, I
arrogant.
can't. I have to like be
I
nice
think-
to you. I can't bully you guys.
Delusional.
Whatever. What delusional, bro? What delusional? You guys are Manchester United fans. Delusional.
No, we've given up on Man United, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not joking. I don't know.
I'm
At
moving
least
on
under
to
Ten
the
Hag.
Champions League
No,
semifinal.
under Ten Hag. I'm gonna.
Champions League semifinal. Let's get to it. Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. Like I said, historic matchup. Um, and that first leg, I was very confident. I was very happy that the first leg was in Munich, and the last, obviously, the second tie is in Madrid. I'm just very confident playing away. I don't trust this like era of this Bayern team at home. Obviously, like losing or like struggling against Villarreal and stuff like that. Even the game on Tuesday, we should have won that game, but we still drew. I thought the performance was great. We dominated Real Madrid. Just stupid goals and stupid mistakes, but that's gonna happen. Like Kim Min Jae, I think he's getting a little it's obviously reasonable hate because it was a big mistake. But listen, he wasn't playing too much. He just came off the bench for the league. It was a big spot for him, at home against like Real Madrid. So let's take it easy on the guy. It's his first season. But yeah, I thought our players like Leroy Sané, bro. I don't care if he hasn't scored a goal since October. The guy is an influential player every single time he's on the field, especially on the right. I said, you put Sané on the right, the game will change. He put him on the right, he scores a goal. I also loved when Tuchel, who I thought kind of really messed us up in the first two, who our first our first lineup was supposed to be with I think the same lineup against Arsenal with Musiala in the middle, Sani on the right, Rafael Guerrero on the left, which I love that, and obviously Harry Kane. That is a perfect lineup, which I expect to see in the second leg. Maybe even Gnabry on the left, and you put Guerrero in that sixth role. Um, so yeah, I'm still very confident. It's 2-2. I understand Real Madrid. Like I understand you cannot ever count them off. You have to really kill them. Like I understand that more than anybody. Trust me. But I'm still very confident going into Madrid. And that's it. Tuchel, this is the last ride. And like for Bayern, a lot of these guys, like this is we have to give everything. Our season on the line on Wednesday. So very excited to see what happens on Wednesday.
Would you
Yeah,
would you
it's
would
gonna
you
be
keep Tuchel if you had the chance? Do you
No,
think?
he needs to go. Like
He
I
needs
don't
to
I
go?
don't I don't
Okay.
want I don't want to get into that because like people like these a lot of Bayern fans are really embarrassing themselves. Really, it's really embarrassing.
They started a
It's
whole
time to go.
petition.
And I'm not even saying that the guy was coming in. Like Ragnick is nowhere near Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel is a top 5 manager in the world.
Yes. Yes.
Phenomenal manager. Like, but it's not working out with Bayern Munich from day one. Has not worked out. I don't like how he approaches things. I respect the guy. I'm saying he's a top 5 manager. He's proven it. But yeah, I just think that it's time to move on. And he will not come back after what has
Well,
been.
yeah. I mean,
We won't
a
take
lot
him
of Bayern. I think a lot of Bayern fans wanted him back. I think at the end they did that petition thing about him, but obviously I think there's been there's no way that you can come back from whatever came out in the media.
But people
This and
people are
that.
so easy to forget, you know. Like I was in my room, like, you know, about to break things when we're losing to fucking Heidenheim up 3 and stuff like that, or fucking stuff.
I think we've talked about this.
Bochum.
I think it's not entirely his fault. I think, like I said, this kind of cracks in the whole Bayern allure, the hierarchy. There's been somewhat of a dysfunction there, and I don't think it's entirely his fault. I mean, his tactics sometimes can be under question, but his time at Bayern, and I think it's gonna get worse for you guys. Sorry, man. I mean, especially if you bring in Ragnick. I love Ragnick. I think he's better than what he did at United. I think he went there to prove a point more so, to say that these players are not up to the level to be a very world class team. But I mean, I don't know, man. Can they go and win the league next year? Sure. I mean, it's Bayern at the end of the day, depending who you guys get. What happens with Leverkusen more so, Dortmund, this and that. I feel bad for Tuchel. You know, everybody talks shit about how he always leaves every situation in a bad note. Honestly, I don't. Everywhere he's left, I don't think it's his fault. You know,
Mhm.
Dortmund didn't want to. You look at
Oh,
the when he left
listen,
Dortmund, they didn't want to spend money.
take my
They
word
wanted to
for it.
sell the players. That's not a winning formula. You can never be a world class team at
I don't
Dortmund.
know why you
Plain
don't
and
want to
simple.
accept it.
You look at
He
PSG,
has to go.
Leonardo. You look at what he did with PSG. He took him to the Champions League final. That Leonardo guy does not have a job anymore. They got rid of him, and look how much better the team is to make it a semifinals again. You look at Chelsea. How what a disaster Chelsea has have been. Have they not? So I think everywhere he's been,
Yeah,
years
but look at
later,
our
has
team. They have
proven
Rudiger
that
and
he's
Conte on
not.
that team, my guy.
Huh?
They had
It's won a
like
Champions League.
Rudiger, Conte.
Respect him.
You know,
Very good team. Very good. I'm just saying, like, he didn't last there. When you have a new ownership coming in that makes rash decisions that don't really think about what they do. And we've seen that the current model at Chelsea is not working, and everyone wanted to blame Tuchel, So that's all I'm saying. Um, for Bayern, we'll see. Like I said, Ragnick, I like Ragnick. His ideology, I think, it kind of suits German football for sure, but it's more so the hierarchy at Bayern. Are they going to deliver with the players that he wants? Are they going to replace players, and are they going to be as good as
I think I
the
read
players that are
somewhere.
leaving?
I
See,
think I read somewhere that he's gonna have a lot of weight in terms of like transforming the
he
team.
has to. He
Like I
has
think
to. He
they're
has
gonna
to.
do
oh,
what he was supposed to do at Man United,
Well,
supposedly.
but that's a little different because he's actually going to be the manager going forward. He came to United as an interim. Then he would go up to a director football role.
this is
It's a little
completely
different.
different role than
Yeah,
what he's.
he's going to do a little bit. He's obviously going to be the manager, but he's also going to work with the Bayern hierarchy, the people that are in control of transfers and stuff like
That's
that.
always
They'll
how it's
football.
been with every manager.
But
And I
that's what I'm
think, bro,
saying.
Thomas Tuchel, there was no Bayern manager, and I think it was unwarranted because he hasn't proven anything yet. But there was no Bayern manager who had more
At
power
Bayern.
and more say than Thomas Tuchel in the last year. I mean, whatever he said, we tried to do. We tried, and it didn't happen sometimes. But we tried to get Declan Rice and stuff like that. It's not gonna happen. But the guy wants to stay in England, stuff like that. 100 million. Sorry, bro. Let's move on. Uh, like we and listen, some mistakes, unquestioned. Like it's obviously like like we do have dinosaurs still running our 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 club. I mean, there's no question. But I think Max Herbal, he will be the guy to be like the bridge between Ralph and the hierarchy. He's a perfect guy. So I think I still have confidence. And listen, bro, even at our worst, we're in the semifinal with a chance to go to the final. So this is what we do. So you say it's gonna get worse. I mean, this if this is the worst, then okay.
We'll see. See, big game at the Bernabeu, all tied
And
up.
a
Also
couple
to win.
miles away, even a day later in Germany, another semifinal was held. This time it was in Dortmund. How about that atmosphere, bro? How about the German atmosphere, man. I'm telling you guys. If you guys
No,
want some
no, for
Bundesliga,
sure.
it's absolutely
No,
ludicrous.
the atmosphere is for sure. It's great.
Jamie
Always been great,
Carragher
ludicrous.
looked like
especially.
he was having fun.
Yeah,
Oh
he
yeah, Jimmy
actually
Carragher.
he actually went to a real atmosphere, not that overrated at Anfield where they just sing something in the
Yeah,
beginning and
bro.
then
Oh yeah.
quiet for the
Like,
rest of the
listen,
game.
I respect Anfield. It can get it's really good vibes sometimes in there. But when you compare it to like
Most
Dortmund,
overrated.
when you compare it to
It's so
Dortmund, it's like
overrated.
So
Bro,
overrated.
maybe it's
the
not
amount of
whatever. I know
times.
obviously you guys are Manchester United fans, but listen,
No. I swear, Ahmed, trust me, it has
no,
nothing to do with that.
compared to Dortmund, it's a joke.
I literally,
It's a Bayern, it's a joke.
I'm not gonna say it on camera, but I promise you, I have nothing against Liverpool in terms of like when it comes to atmosphere. I appreciate a good atmosphere no matter who it comes from, except Man City because they fake it. That
It's definitely a
atmosphere
special plate.
is the most overrated. Bro, the amount of people who come up to me like, who do you think's gonna win? Liverpool or blah blah blah. Oh, but Anfield. But Anfield. What about Anfield? Isn't
They
Anfield
literally
like
went on
a
like an all-time
fortress?
run. What are you talking about?
Bro, get the fuck out of here with that. Isn't Anfield an fortress? A fortress? Anfield. Like, bro, because Wenger once said,
Nah,
Anfield
bro.
is the most
You
special stadium I've ever been to. Like, bro, he said that once to a piece of Liverpool fans when they were red hot because he has ideas. He wants to be popular with FIFA. Like, Anfield is not the fortress people make it out to be. Anfield has been pretty freaking unsuccessful historically, if we're being honest. It's been pretty unsuccessful. What have they done in the Champions League? Two finals in the 2000s to the 2010s when they were actually a pretty decent team. They were fighting second place, third place with Chelsea and Man United in that era. Two finals, they won one in a crazy. The goalkeeper was basically at the half field line, bro. Like, stop talking to me about Anfield, bro. It's a great stadium. It's definitely one of the best, but it's not like, bro, the yellow wall is 20 times
I don't
better.
know. In England, would you say that Liverpool is the best?
No, Old Trafford is much better. And this is like fans. Okay, hold up. Wait. I retract my statement. I think as a home stadium, people say Newcastle is the best. Away support, they say it's Man United. But it's definitely not Anfield. It's definitely. Bro, have you not seen these matches? Like, you can't hear shit at Anfield at all. Like, half the time. It's deadass silent. It's overrated. It's definitely very, very overrated. They sing a crazy
I mean,
song in the
I
beginning.
feel like that's a lot with a lot of English stadiums, but
Listen, not with Newcastle, not with
I
Leeds,
think the
not with
best
Old
stadium in
Trafford.
England is the Tottenham Stadium, but that's just because of like the
As a
pure stadium.
stadium,
It's
yes,
beautiful, yeah.
probably,
When
100%.
when
But
when Old Trafford is kind of like MSG in a sense is when it's like a big game
no, no,
and when
yeah, the
happening,
lights,
it's fucking
special. No, it's like
it's
theater,
special.
theater.
But
No, for sure.
there's been
They
times where
gotta fix it up though.
yeah, that's what I think a lot of the you can't really get a strong atmosphere because of how shit the stadium is, but people not enjoying their time there. And
Yeah,
that's why a lot of United fans are trying to say about the Glazers and stuff like that. But like we say, when something big happens at Old Trafford, dude, it's I don't think there's any stadium, in my opinion, of course,
no,
as you
for
No,
mentioned.
no,
sure.
I think listen,
There's no stadium like that, you know.
if you're a top player in the world, right? And if you go to England, that's probably the number one stadium. I think number one is Old Trafford, number two is Anfield, and three and four don't really matter.
Yeah, after
Right.
that, it's like, who cares? But
Right.
Newcastle has great fans, I'll say that.
Yeah, they have good fans.
The Georgies, whatever they call
The
Yeah,
Gordies,
Georgies. All right, let's
40s.
get to the other semifinal, PSG versus Dortmund. Dortmund, man, uh,
They play well.
played well to possibly even score more goals, but then again, with the
At the end
chances
of the
that
day,
PSG had, I think it's probably a fair result. 1-0 going back to PSG, but Dortmund, much like Bayern, this is their season. This is everything, and PSG very underratedly are like chasing a treble, quadruple, whatever it is, right? Like they won the league,
yeah,
won
yeah,
the like domestic cup, and I think they have another trophy. But without a
yeah.
doubt,
I
they
mean,
are chasing a treble.
yeah, they do it every year though. This is like regular for PSG.
Nah, this is like they're actually going for it. Like it would count. I'm sorry, it would count. Um, so yeah, a lot on the line. Obviously, Mbappe's last season. Um, I would love for Dortmund to go through and for Bayern to go through Wembley. It just makes sense. I really hope it's not Real versus PSG. I mean, this is like it's.
Hmm.
I thought it was
That's
like Man
hilarious.
City versus PSG. Which the way like they kind of set it up. That would have been an oil final. Thank God it's not going to be that. But I don't want PSG in the final. I would like Dortmund versus Bayern.
Real,
I
Ma-
think that's for the people.
Real Madrid
It,
is just getting so annoying now at this point. Like when they won three in a row with Ronaldo, you were like, all right, they have one of the goats. Now that then they won another one in what 2019. Now they're
and yeah,
getting
bro,
close
and
to
it's
it
like,
again.
all right,
It's like
like
holy
if
shit,
you
man.
were like dominate, we would respect you. But like against Man City, like they were thoroughly dominated. And listen, they deserve to go through. It's right now 2-2. They well deserved. But it's like the way the comeback, the Benzema. I mean, that run was like crazy, bro. And how many comebacks? It's like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
man,
and I'm horrified of what's gonna happen when they get Mbappe too. I'm not
that's what
surprised
I'm
if we're
saying.
gonna see
Next year,
like,
and you're gonna get Xabi Alonso with that, bro.
yeah, that's gonna be scary, bro.
Also,
Real
they
Madrid might
left
get to 20 UCLs soon. Like
before, yeah.
it's
So
freaking terrifying. Someone's got to do something, but
We'll see, man. Listen. Sometimes I've always had like I've always thought this like sometimes it's too good to be true. I've always kind of felt like, oh, look how great they are.
I'm
I don't
telling you
know,
right
man.
now,
you don't
that's
get
what I
that
was
with
thinking
Madrid.
about.
But you don't
And
get
I
that with
think
Madrid,
Mbappe, if Mbappe comes, I think either Vinny leaves or Rodrigo leaves.
which is okay. If Rodrigo leaves, that won't hurt Madrid.
Bro, Rodrigo's so good. He's
Doesn't
so good.
matter. If you have
Oh
Vinny
my
coming
god.
off the bench, I agree. He's a very
Vinny's not coming
fantastic
off the
player.
bench.
Someone's got to
Because
come off
because
the
bro,
bench.
Vinny and Mbappe are literally the two best wingers on the world.
Okay,
They
sell.
happen to play
So
on the
you
left.
sell Vinny, you have
Not
Rodrigo coming
selling
off the
Vinny.
bench. So who's going then? I don't
That's what I'm
understand.
saying. That's what Tico's saying. It's like too good to be true.
I don't know.
Sounds good on paper.
I think, I
That's what I'm
think,
saying. And,
I think
because
PSG
it's
Bayern
not
is
FIFA.
gonna happen.
Also, shout
T
out to
goes.
Thiago Motta going to Juventus. What a season he had at Bologna.
Oh, he's amazing. This is a
Lopetegui going to
great.
Milan.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
man, that's.
Milan fans
I
want a Conte. I know that. Or
did
someone
they?
better. They want an
Did
Antonio
they?
Conte. They want to go, bro.
Seriously?
They're pissed off, bro.
Wow.
I know Milan fans. Trust me.
I don't blame him. Listen, I've never I'm like if I had to pick a couple teams I like, I support outside of Manchester, it would be Milan. Um, so I'm a little well versed in the Milan and what should happen for them, the players that they have their success throughout the season.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of Pioli, never have. I know he
Now
won
this
the league
season,
that
yeah,
year.
like
I think I don't
very
know
disappointing.
I don't know how they won the league that year. Not gonna lie, the performances are great. Respect to him,
Ibra
To the
and
but
semifinal.
Giroud.
outside pretty much Zlatan. Yeah, I mean, as soon as Zlatan came, he kind of changed the whole Milan. Milan are not in the place that they are without Zlatan coming back. I do believe that he brought in the leadership that he needed, and he brought in a spark too as a player. He was scoring like goals every game, regardless. Pioli, I've never been a fan of. I think he bought himself some time winning the league that year, but
And
going
last year
forward,
going to the semifinal.
going to the semifinals. Uh, which you mean, I think they had good run of stretches like games. I think
Yeah.
they got it. They got very fortunate with that.
Figo, so.
But I never liked him as a tactician. I didn't think he was the guy that was going to take Milan to thing. There's been a lot of bad performances as well as good, but I think a lot of that has to do with the talent that he have has kind of carried Pioli more than he carried the team as manager. That's just my opinion. So I'm glad that they got rid of him. But this is the big moment because you have a lot of good players still on that team, regardless of Leao's future might be in doubt.
Staying.
Theo Hernandez, um,
He might not stay.
future is that's what I'm saying. So it's a big moment for them. I hope they make it good. I personally would love if they would have gone Gasparini from Atalanta. I think this is a guy that has done a very good job for
Very good.
Atalanta. What they've done, I think he plays a sensational style football, which can obviously backfire a lot. I mean, playing that
Mhm.
expansive, that open, could go against you. But put him at Milan with better players in that system, I think that would be a very, very good signing for them. But does does he even want to leave Atalanta? I think he's in a good situation there. They're in
From
Europe
Milan, he would leave, yeah.
for
But
Milan.
I
That's the
mean,
thing.
I would say the only good thing about Milan this year, the only player that's really shown promise and stuff like that was Christian Pulisic. I mean, like he's
Yeah,
really
he done great. He's a
had a
player
good
that just fits the league.
yeah.
I've always thought Pulisic is a good player.
Back to
there's
Chelsea.
certain leagues where players do well, yeah, do well at, and I think that always fit him. I like U.S. players in Italy. I don't know. I think it fits him well. McKennie when he was at Juventus still
Timothy
is.
Weah
He's
still
having
is.
a good. He's having a good. Yeah, Timothy Weah doing what he does at Juve. So I'm glad that a
It's
lot of U.S. players go there.
it's very
I
similar
think you.
football to US style, I think, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. It's yeah. I definitely see where you're saying that. But going to Thiago Motta, what he's done with Bologna, oh my God, you know, what a sensational this guy.
He's gonna be.
He's like he's gonna be one of the best coaches in the world. I think he's that next generation coach now. He has that. I remember hearing him like a couple years ago, where he had like some ridiculous formation. I forgot what it was, but it was
Uh,
years ago. It was like 2017. This guy was gonna play like some like 3-6-1 or some bullshit like that. It was nonsense, but obviously now you see what he's doing. He's that new next generation of coaches, as well as like Chabi Alonso. You look at a guy like
even Xavi
Zerbi, how he's
Hernandez.
doing with him.
Oh,
Yeah, even Chavi. I mean, Chavi, his tactics are pretty like not like innovational. It's kind of basic, but it
Zerbi.
works. Of course, deserve you like when I'm saying like the super attacking, the three in the back formations, five in the back, super full back stuff like that. So he's amazing. Good for Juve. I think Juve haven't been that good. You know, they've fallen off compared to where they were the years before. But getting him can switch them to being the best team in Italy again if they make the right signings. So yeah, that's interesting for them.
Speaking of Antonio Conte, he is reported to be heading to Napoli. So
Seriously.
it fixed him up a little bit. Uh, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Let's get to.
Let's
We
get
want to talk about
ready
the
to
draft a little bit. No,
rumble.
no.
The NFL draft.
Um, yeah, we could talk about that a little bit. You want to talk about
Stinky.
your Jets? Don't think the Jets did anything too
I
insane, but they had
mean,
a.
we did get some big time players later on in the rounds that are
I
gonna help
mean,
us. Malachi Corey,
questionable. Questionable.
come on, Malachi.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a big Malachi Corey fan. That's just my opinion. Maybe he
Braylon
turns
Allen,
out to be a good player. Huh?
Braylon Allen,
Oh, Berlin Allen, I like.
Agent
I think
Zero.
that's. I think he's a good player, but at the end of the day, you have.
You were talking about Burns and Zero. I'm gonna have Allen and Zero,
Mhm,
Agent Zero. Come on, bro.
mhm.
Be right there.
Nah, I like Braylon Allen. I think he's a very underrated player. I think he could easily be one of the best backs out of the draft. On what he does, he's a very good player. Catch out the back, can do what he does. I think that's a great fit with Bryce Hall. So
Yeah.
I just don't think it's like anything too crazy because you already have Bryce Hall. You get what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I'm Brees is a little, just for
Brees, sorry.
backup, really. Brees is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
stud,
but that's what I'm saying.
monster.
So I'm not gonna like say, oh my god, what a great pick.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Let's
But I mean,
let's again.
no, I was just gonna talk about obviously, the pick, your first round pick. A lot of people said Brock Bowers should have been that pick. Personally, as much as I like the move of going Fashanu, which with Tyron Smith coming in, which is a great deal for you guys, he's guaranteed to be hurt. That's guaranteed when you
Oh yeah,
get that guy Tyron Smith. So getting Fashanu who can come in to take that spot when he does, if he does, I don't want to hope anybody gets hurt. It's a smart move, but I
it
mean,
was a
bro,
safe pick. Yeah, without a doubt,
it's a safe pick, but I mean, Brock
and for the
Bowers.
future.
Yeah, but Brock Bowers being there, personally, I would have went for
No,
Brock Bowers because
oh,
you want to bring weapons to that team, and you can always go O line a little later in the draft. Obviously, Fashion News talent. I remember they were talking about him going top 5 at one point. I remember. Obviously, his
the entire process, I wanted Joe Alt at 10, and then I want if that wasn't
that,
possible, I
that
wanted
was
JT Latham, and if that
yeah,
wasn't
Jason
possible, I wanted Brock Bowers.
Fashion.
And if that wasn't possible, I mean, I
Going
wanted
Fashion.
Oldie, but
Yeah.
it happened. It happened. I think it was a safe
It's not
option.
it's not a bad pick. I
Right,
just feel like
no,
with Aaron Rodgers, you want to try and maximize him. I get it. You also want to worry about the future with post Aaron Rodgers and whoever comes in to take out of that quarterback spot. But you want to maximize your time with Aaron Rodgers. Give him as much weapons as he needs. You put Brock Bowers with Wilson, with Mike Williams potentially if he can
Honestly,
stay
bro,
healthy.
with that defense, Aaron Rodgers, he's got a good running team. He's got a number one wide receiver in my opinion, Garrett Wilson. He's like
No.
it's not. He's got Mike Williams. Maybe one more guy, if you want to say one more guy,
And also Mike Williams, you can't really trust
but
the
it's not
guy.
worth spending
Stay
the
healthy.
11th pick. And then
I don't know, man.
the fact that we traded
Oh
that pick
yeah,
and like
yeah, it
basically
was
get free
smart.
money for that. Nah,
Yeah,
it
pretty
was
much.
the right move. Uh, yeah, good move by Joe
You-
D. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the Giants. Malik Neighbors out of LSU. Uh,
Oh yeah.
good history with obviously LSU wide
Oh yeah.
receivers so far. So
Oh
Malik
yeah.
Neighbors, people are saying this guy's a stud. Can't like he's for
He's
sure all kind of
LSU's
guy.
all-time leading receiver in yards. LSU.
Yeah.
When you know all the talent that's
Isn't like Randy
that's
Moss
came
didn't
out
go
of it,
there? No.
I don't think so. I think Randy
He
Moss went to like
he
some
went to yeah, it was like a
went
small
to like
school.
some small school. Yeah. So I mean, neighbors. That was my pick that I wanted. I had only there was just no chance the Giants can do bad, in my opinion, in that draft. Well, they could have if they
Well,
would have.
no,
They could have
if
went to JJ McCarthy. I think that
that
would have
would have
been a
been
bad pick.
disaster.
If they would have traded up for JJ McCarthy,
That
then
would have been
I
a
don't think
disaster.
I don't think I would be a Giants fan right now if they would have done that. For sure. I think there was only a couple moves to do. I said one, stay put, draft one of the fucking wide receivers, either Marvin Harris if he drops or Neighbors, which they did. Two, trade it up for a quarterback. Personally, I wanted Drake May. I think Drake May could be the best quarterback out of the draft, even better than Caleb Williams. That's the ceiling that he has. He just needs proper coaching around him, and that would have been so perfect with Dable if he would have came in. But obviously, they tried. But Patriots, New England wanted a fucking haul. I think
Rightfully so.
Minnesota, rightfully so, for sure. You know, if there's a franchise quarterback and they're thinking about taking it, you got to give it a lot. I think Minnesota offered 3 first rounds picks for him. They declined that, so we were never going to get an offer from them. But yeah, Neighbors is great. Obviously, talks about quarterback Daniel Jones. I I'm done with Daniel Jones personally, and I remember talking about it 2 years ago. Daniel Jones, we have to not get too emotional about him. Don't get sucked into the whole, oh, he's
They get
playing great,
attached.
doing this. And we didn't get attached. As crazy as it sounds, even though we gave the contract, we gave ourselves an out the end of this year where we can get out of that contract because technically we front loaded a lot of his deal and his guaranteed money. So after this year, we can cut him and we're good. Um Clearly we it hasn't been clearly it wasn't the right decision because even though like I said I don't think he's in the best situation, but he needs to do better than what he's being given. uh I don't think we're an awful team. I think there is still a lot of holes on the team, but we have a good foundation of youth players that sets us up in the future to, if we do get a franchise quarterback, we can be a very good team. But this year is not going to be that year. And um as much as I like Daniel Jones to be successful, as much as I like him to be the starting quarterback, will he be? I don't know. Drew Lock could do something. I would have liked us to go get one of those late quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler or Joe Milton. It's a project guy.
Spencer Rattler, come
I
on, man.
I don't think he's gonna be that good. I think he's interesting in the sense that you pair him up with Dable, he can be that bridge quarterback in a sense. Like you look at Washington, what they did with Sam Howell, where he can produce. Doesn't mean he's the future. Doesn't mean he can play well, and we can't trade him to another team. A team wouldn't take him. But I just don't like the prospect of what we have in the quarterback room. You have Daniel Jones, which I think he has an injury clause in his deal that if he does get hurt again, he'll have a little bit more guaranteed money into his contract. So that's a little suspect going forward. I mean, I don't think realistically, I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be the starting quarterback by the start of the season. I think it will be Drew Lock. It could be Tommy DeVito.
Based on
It's
merit or based on like he's not healthy?
based on he's probably not going to be healthy by then.
But that would be a
And two,
disaster if he's not gonna be playing.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the starting quarterback. If he's healthy, he's gonna be starting.
I think you'd be surprised. I think as much as
They
they
have
like
no
to
other.
say
They have no other choice.
they're gonna what they do in the public and what they say in the public is what they want the perspective to be. Um, I don't believe that they think he's the. I personally think they don't think they're gonna win next year, and I
Oh, yeah.
think the
No
way
chance.
they may, I think the way we're setting up and the moves we're making, we're not setting up to win now. We're still in a rebuild. But what it does next year, it sets us up for one of the quarterbacks, which a lot of people say is a weak quarterback draft. But I think there's a lot of talented guys there that by this time next year, I think we're going to see a lot of guys fly up the board. I do believe that.
No,
You know,
I mean,
Jalen
listen.
Daniels, the way he
There's
came up.
always gonna be like the draft gets so hype, and they're always gonna hype one quarterback up. But I think in 2 years, no, is in Arch Manning coming out?
I think it might be even more than that. Yeah, it might be 2 years.
So that's
I
that makes sense.
the only
He's
that
definitely
does
coming
make
out
sense.
very soon. But I
I
think it's
do
1 year, no? Isn't he?
no
What's
because
the
he's
rules with he's gonna be a freshman this year, I think.
You gotta play 2 years, I think.
Oh, okay.
but you
See,
can
that I
be
didn't know.
you can be the way they do is when you redshirt, so you can be in so it's the way it is that even though you don't play, if you redshirt, you can still you're still eligible
I
for the
think.
draft.
Well,
You get what I'm saying?
he's at like
Texas,
he's at Texas right now with the
right?
other guy, right?
Quinn
Ewers,
Ewers, yeah,
right? And
yeah.
I like Arch Manning. I think like he's like he could start like
He could because Quinn Ewers, you know, a lot of people say he's going to be like a top 3 quarterback drafted.
yeah.
He can easily be full way down because you know he's a talented guy, but he can definitely play really really bad. And I
Yeah,
could definitely see a situation where Archie Manning becomes a starting quarterback this year, but that doesn't mean Archie Manning is going to be, you know, um, coming to the draft this year for sure.
no, of
Not.
course
I think
not.
he's way too young. So definitely next year, even maybe a year after that, you don't
Yeah,
know.
2 years, 2 years.
I don't think we should. It's a great story, and I love it, and it sounds amazing. One, I don't think we're going to be in a position where we have the worst record in the NFL, and two, I don't think we can have time to wait. You know, go for a quarterback, whether it's Sanders out in Colorado, Carson Beck in Georgia. I like certain guys that can definitely their stock can get better. I like Jalen Milroe, Alabama. I like
Oh,
Jackson Dart, Ole Miss. You know, we love Ole Miss quarterbacks.
come on, but
It's gonna be
Jalen
interesting.
Minimal, come on.
Yo, I'm not gonna say he's gonna be Cam Ward out of Miami. Shout out to the U. There could be a lot of quarterbacks that fly up the draft, but dude, you could see it last year, man. A lot of guys. Jalen Daniels was not even a thought, and this guy's an amazing quarterback. So let's be real.
Yeah, we also
It's gonna
played
be
6
interesting though.
years, that guy.
I mean, okay. So what? Joe Burrow? I mean, Joe Burrow played a lot of years too. So
I think, bro, listen, like it's honestly like it's kind of crazy. It should be common sense that like he played all those years, stuff like that. He wasn't that good. He comes to LSU. He's playing with 2 first round picks. I think obviously neighbors and then that kid Thomas, right? Goes to the Jaguars.
I don't like that because I had that same thought
That's
about
literally
Joe
the same thing.
Burrow. I said the same thing about Joe Burrow. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, this guy was a bum, and look at him now. He's a great quarterback in the NFL. Is he not?
Well, I mean, like he didn't leave because he was a bum. He left because I think Justin Fields was like
So what
super
I'm saying,
quarterback
so
or something.
he went to a better position. I mean, Jalen Daniels was pretty decent in Arizona State. You know, he had Ayuk, he had this guy Ricky Pearsall.
I heard there was like a report that like the players wanted him gone and stuff like that too.
Nah, there was a video once he transferred. They like took out his locker, which I mean, they were probably mad that he transferred.
Quarterback, bro,
I
quarterback.
don't give a fuck.
That's like some Zach Wilson stuff. Trust me. I don't listen. I like Washington. This is just what bad franchises do. They take Jaden McDaniels when Drake May is available.
I agree with. I mean,
They
I think
take
Drake May not
Johnny
going Drake May.
Flynn when Steph Curry is there. You know, this is what bad franchises do all the time, bro. And I think listen, like man, they've got talent offensively, but Washington, like, do you expect them to like? Do you expect
No,
maybe like year one because he's so polished, he'll be the maybe like he'll even like win the offensive rookie of the year. But like you had Drake May there, bro. You had Drake
No,
May.
that's not.
And you
I
have
think
Cliff
if
Kingsbury, right, as offensive kid, like
yeah,
OC.
yeah.
I don't know.
But that's why they went Jalen Daniels because he has that explosive running ability. He could be a very good dual threat. He could. I just think it's a bad situation, and we know what Washington does, so it is what it is. I give the Giants draft a B minus. I think later drafts, I think we kind of not going O line at all. I think we're the only team in the NFL that didn't draft the O line
Mm.
or a defensive tackle.
The
Which
line
is
of
nuts.
scrimmage is literally that's where the game is won.
Yeah, and
Both sides.
it's kind of nuts to me how we didn't go even O line where there was good talent for value. But we'll see. We'll see. We got the new O line coach from Oakland. I mean, sorry, Oakland from Las
Raiders.
Vegas Raiders, who did a very good job for them. Can will definitely be better than whatever the fuck we had our coach. Which is funny. You know what team he's at now?
Yes.
Washington.
Oh,
Washington.
so
So
Jets would kill me.
that would be funny.
I mean, I think the like very similar to the Jets. I think Neighbors was a safe pick. He was the best, probably the best and most talented player available. Especially if Harrison was going to be taken. I had him as my second best receiver. So, uh, I also like when this whole process started, I said it was going to be either offensive lineman or wide receiver. And I was kind of shocked that it was an offensive lineman. Just you cannot have more like, especially with the other guy you have Evan Neal. So he's I don't know if you trust that guy. So
No, you don't. I
neighbors
think we
though,
picked
neighbors
up
is stud, and he's
Javine
in
out.
New York, could be electric. Him and Kayvon Thibodeau. It's gonna be a toxic ass team though, in my opinion. I will say.
Mhm. Come on.
Uh, but I do agree with you about the quarterbacks though. Listen, I again going back to the bad franchises, I'll have to see it to believe it. Caleb Williams going to Chicago. Chicago has never had a great quarterback. You know, like I will have to see it
Man,
until I believe it.
that
It's like, bro,
situation is.
it's
I
like with
mean,
the
you
Mets, like with the Nets, and it's like with the Jets, bro. The
right.
Mets, they get Pete Alonso, they get Max Scherzer, they get um Justin Verlander, they have Lindor and stuff like that. What do? They all get hurt, no playoffs, right?
Right.
The Nets, they get Kevin Durant, they get Kyrie Irving, all this stuff happened. What happened? They won one playoff series. The Jets, they get Aaron Rodgers. What happens? Fourth play of the year of the season, he's out for the year. This is just what happens, bro. Just what happens. So the Bears, until I see Caleb Williams have a 4,000-yard season like minimum, I'll believe it. But I agree with you, Drake May. I think has potential to be the best quarterback, which is terrible news for me as a Jets fan. But he's not ready now. That's the most important part.
Yeah. Yep.
Is he only
What do
still
we got
on the
next?
phone?
I don't know. I think he might have fell asleep.
All right, let's just
I'm
finish
still
up
I'm
with
still on
UFC
Hong Kong
301.
time.
We might fall asleep watching UFC 301. See what I did there?
When is that?
Yeah.
That's this weekend? Yo, supposedly Pereira might have a
No.
fight
Literally
at
hurt. Can't
302.
fight.
Definitely not.
It's
At
possible.
302, Tiku.
Oh, 302.
Nah. I
Tiku,
mean,
he was signing something, he was taking pictures in the shorts, like,
You said Alex Pereira
yeah,
fighting at
I
302.
wish. Shout out. Pull up.
I
Let's
hope
do it.
so.
Why not? I hope so. That'd be nuts.
Yo, UFC in Newark, ladies and
We,
gentlemen. You already know
we will.
SVS will be at the press
SVS
conferences.
will be there at the
Oh, you guys
conference.
cop
We're
the
gonna
tickets and stuff
we're
like
gonna
that,
be at the
right?
fight
Yeah,
too.
bro.
Yeah, unfortunately,
So are you, bro.
Yes.
We're gonna watch Islam. I thought you were in that crew, bro. Where you
he
at?
he can't.
You guys,
You know he
you guys,
can't.
you guys are definitely for real for that. I don't know, bro.
You know Ahmed
That's
can't, and
that's
I'll
all.
tell you why he can't. Because if Islam loses, Ahmed will die. Like he will
I will
literally.
literally jump. I will literally. They will have to keep me out of the octagon, bro.
That would be nuts. If I go to watch Islam lose in person, I swear I would. I don't know what the
I
fuck.
wouldn't
Never
dare. I
never
wouldn't
going to
dare.
a live event ever again.
Oh no, definitely not.
No.
Let's go to UFC 301. This time in Brazil. Going back to Brazil. First time, if I'm not mistaken, I think I am mistaken, because they did go back before. But yeah, they're going back to Brazil. Always a good time. Alex Pantoja headlines this card, a flyweight champion,
An SVS original.
Alexander Pantoja. He is Brazilian versus Steve Erceg. What me and Tico were talking about like last podcast. We are like, oh yeah. Remember the Steve Erceg guy? Oh yeah, him. Now he's fighting for a championship. So crazy.
I said he's good. I told
no,
him.
I said yeah, he's good, but now he's fighting for a championship. So
Come on now.
like that's fucking crazy, bro. Jonathan Martinez is in the co-main event. Oh my god, for UFC pay-per-view. Good God Almighty.
I mean, Steve Erceg
Versus
is
the
in
return
a
of Jose
main event.
Aldo.
So
Now, with Jose Aldo, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna talk about him, how he's so good for 5 minutes, and then how he's gonna get beat up in the last 5 seconds.
Yo, I forgot about that. That's a fucking throwback, and I have.
That was classic. No, yeah,
That's
but
a
Jose,
fucking
he's
classic.
still good, bro. And this is gonna be a boxing match. So and Martinez, you know, I'm not. He's got good kicks, but that's about it. Anthony Smith is on the main card. Yo, what is this card? Versus Vitor Trino, undefeated guy. Not very impressed by him, but what are you gonna do? Whatever. Michelle Pajera, oh my god, bro. Paul Craig versus Kai Barao. Yo, this card, man, it really needed some other guy, but what are you gonna do? Especially after UFC 300, that was ridiculous. We still haven't talked about that, but too late. Max Holloway, shout out to that guy. Yeah, my goodness, UFC 301. Let's just if you watch it, you watch it. I'll definitely watch it, of course, but
I'll tune into it for sure.
I'd say this is one of the worst UFC pay-per-views. Maybe like a McGregor card, but McGregor, you're getting McGregor. You know, like you'll wait for that. I don't know.
You know,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you guys want, I have a good game of fours. If you guys wanna run it real quick.
That game you played last time.
Yeah.
Hell no, that shit was like mental gymnastics for me. Like 10
This
a.m.
one's
11
not. This one is ridiculously easy. It should be.
I
But
forgot how we went.
what?
Let's do it for next year. I mean, next year. Sorry.
Next year?
Next
Yeah,
week.
bro.
Since
Alright.
next year, you're already thinking.
We'll do it next week.
I mean, Miami season's over, so.
It's okay.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cry.
Yeah, but
I won't.
I think Canelo's also fighting this weekend. Cinco
Give
de
me
Mayo.
smash.
Yo, you
I
saw
think I
him-
seen him. I think I seen him come out and
Round 4. He said no.
go good. he kind of went at
Oh,
that
Oscar?
cokehead-
De La Hoya.
that cokehead De La Hoya.
cabrón.
He's literally everything
Yeah,
that's
bitch.
wrong. He's everything that's wrong with boxing. Everything. I can't stand De La Hoya, bro. And good for Canelo for leaving his ass and do what he's doing
Bro,
now.
Canelo's
Still needs to
like
fight Benavidez though.
stud.
Oh, Canelo's a monster.
Versus Jamie Mongia.
Was good. No, he's good. He's a good fighter.
Good.
Bro, I love
listen,
Canelo.
compared to
This is like
compared to who
compared to the
Canelo
guys
is-
that compared to the guys that Canelo's been. What's this guy drinking? A gallon of water like that, bro. It's crazy. Whatever.
It's really gallon.
Yeah, compared to the guys that he's been fighting recently, this is a huge step back for Canelo. And he's given out like rounds that he's gonna knock him out. He said I think round 8, and then Oscar pissed him off. He said round 4. So Canelo for the win on Cinco de Mayo, the Mexican King.
Canelo cursing in English is just so quality,
I
bro.
think once he wins this, and we do him versus Benavidez, him versus Benavidez and Cinco de Mayo could have been massive. And speaking of, let me just get this boxing schedule out for you guys real quick. Like last year, boxing kind of stole the show, right?
At
They might
this
just do it
point,
again this year.
last year, boxing was
And I
so
think right
good.
now,
Well, if
the
you
way
see
we're
that
heading-
Terrence Crawford, you see that Terrence Crawford card. That's just 1 through 5 is a fucking banger, bro. I don't know
I gotta
what
see that
that rich. I don't know what that rich Arab is doing, bro. But he's bringing boxing and he's putting the best fights coming out. You haven't seen it?
no,
Who?
I gotta see the whole card.
Who, the guy in
That's,
Saudi?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Oh wait. Which card are you talking about? Which card?
The Terrence Crawford, the one that he's fighting, that guy.
Really?
Madrid-
I thought you were talking
Madrimov?
about. No, like, cause like the what do you call it? The Joshua versus Ngannou.
No, I got you.
That was a big.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah. Let me just give you the schedule. Obviously, we just April 20th, Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. I won't even talk about that. May 4th, Canelo Alvarez versus Jamie Mongia. So it's not.
Well, I mean, it will be Cinco de Mayo by the time the fight starts. So that's why they do it.
Mm-hmm.
May 6th, the Japanese Monster, Naoya Inoue versus Luis Nenry. May 11th, 5 days later, pound for pound, Royal, just legend, Basil Lomachenko versus George Kambosos. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
fight right there.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson Fury versus Usyk, May 18th. May 25th,
Ooh.
Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall 2. Uh, June 1st, the biggest fight of them all, Arthur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol. Oh my God, June 1st right there in Saudi Arabia, I believe.
Fury
Right?
versus Usyk is very soon.
And then also June 1st, I think that's where they're doing the Queensberry versus Matchroom, right, for 5 versus 5. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
I think so. Yeah, that's the one in is that the Book Crawford one?
Nah, because that's on June 1st. That's Arthur
No,
Beterbiev. That's the
no, no, no,
Queensberry. They always do the versus
no.
Matchroom 5 versus 5.
No, I think this is at
You sent that already?
I think it's August 3rd. Yeah, go look at it.
Oh wow.
Look at that, huh?
Wow, look at that whole right, like the whole
I
right
got
Wow.
side. Crawford,
uh
Wow.
it,
see,
that makes you
Ruiz,
feel
Cruz,
that makes you feel
Morel.
good, huh? It
Morel is
gives
still
you a nice
undefeated.
Nice little tingle in the
yeah,
body.
yeah.
It's scary. Yo, Morel is good.
Wow.
Cuban
He's a
guy.
good kid. He's next up. He's next up.
Cruz, always good to see him. Andy Ruiz,
Mhm.
obviously. Nah, this is a good card. People saying
Mm.
that that Russian guy has a chance against Crawford.
You know, he I think he spars with um Bivol, spars with him, and he's like way shorter, lighter weight. He spars with Bivol, so it could be a good
Okay.
fight. It'd be interesting. I mean, obviously, Buck Crawford is pound for pound number one. Obviously he's the favorite going into it, but I mean, it's gonna be a good fight. I love boxing, man. After Devin Haney, Ron Garcia, come on, what are we
Tune
doing?
in. Tune in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Maybe we get some
Oh,
live streams going on.
isn't also WWE Payback, but I mean or Backlash.
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 That's
Yeah, I
nothing
mean
crazy,
it's
right?
nah, it's not too crazy. I think it's more so
Cody
like a
Rhodes
little
versus
bit.
AJ Styles. That's it.
Yeah, I mean you have Jey Uso versus Damian Priest. I think you have a three-way bout
Any
with
chance Jey
Bailey,
Uso
Tiffany.
wins?
No. No.
I don't
No.
think so. I think there's this talks about him coming out and he might be getting traded to SmackDown, which kind of makes sense with Cody going to SmackDown. He gets Jey Uso to be his friend. Plus, you have the whole bloodline storyline going on.
Oh, hold on.
So
Cody Rhodes is on SmackDown now officially.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Why?
Why? It's very interesting that they
Why?
put the main title on SmackDown for
Bro,
these
Did you
past
not
few
see the
years.
draft? Did you not?
I'm like,
Did
oh,
you not see
gee,
the
Raw.
Raw?
No, I
I
watched
know,
the
but
draft.
did
I
you?
watched the draft,
Yeah.
but I
Did you
thought
not see what Raw who they got? I think they got literally every good player. You have Braun Breaker going to Raw. You have
Oh yeah,
Ilya
Raw is
Dragunov going to
brolic,
Raw.
bro.
I think they got a
I
bunch of
know,
other
but like,
people. I
come
just
on,
forgot.
Raw. Like
You know why? You know why? But also Punk's is gonna be back. You still Seth Rollins is gonna be back whenever he comes back
Drew
from
McIntyre
injury.
still on Raw.
Drew McIntyre is still on Raw.
Okay.
That's stacked,
But
bro.
also, like, I thought, like the undisputed
Like
champion is on both brands. No problem. But they don't do that no more, right? The both brands. You have
I
to
don't,
stick on one.
I think they're trying to make it now that the belt's like one thing. I don't think they it's hard for them to get rid of the undisputed moniker, but I think he's more SmackDown. But this is the thing now. There's no like it's not like the brand split like it was like back in the day in the early 2000s where you've never seen like Batista on Raw, you know what I mean? Or John Cena on SmackDown. I think we've seen Cody Rhodes come on SmackDown come some days, come on Raw some days, this and that. So it's not literally you're never gonna see them on the other brand. It's just that whenever they're gonna defend the belts, it's always gonna be against somebody that's on that brand. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like AJ Styles on SmackDown, you're never gonna see him, Cody Rhodes, fight somebody on Raw for the belt. But you might see him on Raw itself on
But
the
when
show.
did he move to SmackDown? When he won
I
the
think
belt
I
officially,
think
he goes to SmackDown.
so I think they made it official after like the week after WrestleMania or 2 weeks after that.
Because I missed it.
Because I think he came out on Raw and he's like, "This is probably my last time on Raw." And then I think the WWE website said he's a SmackDown guy. So yeah, I mean it kind of makes sense. I mean you can't have both guys on one brand, right? But you think being undisputed guy, he should be on both. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean Roman Reigns was never on Raw like here and there. only a couple times. Yeah.
No, recently, no, never. He was always on SmackDown.
Yeah, exactly. But with Raw now getting that Netflix deal coming in, I think they got a stacked roster.
But that's
man.
just Raw. That's just Monday night,
do you mean?
which is not going to be on Monday night, most likely. By the
I
way,
don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. That's gonna be super interesting. I don't know how they're gonna do it. If it's gonna be live, if they're gonna
I think it's gonna be
record it.
better.
I think it will be better. It's just gonna be very interesting in how they do it. You know, obviously we know the whole cable way. You know, every night, Monday night, come watch it, this and that. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Is it gonna be live? I don't know. It'll be interesting though, so we'll see. Can't wait.
wake up,
Yeah.
Ryan.
No, listen.
Yeah.
This guy's
I
just
don't know.
staring at the abyss.
I'm trying to I'm looking at the draft list right now, and Raw is so brolic, bro. It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I mean it's such a nutty.
Yeah, going.
They're good.
Yeah.
Drew
That's
Gunter.
McIntyre and CM Punk is gonna be such a quality
Oh, that's gonna be amazing.
a quality
But until, honestly, until CM
feud.
Punk and until until CM Punk and until Seth Rollins returns, it's not gonna be like.
Bro, you have
It's basically like
Gunther,
NXT.
Sheamus, Drew
professional.
McIntyre, right?
Bro, you guys know how I feel about Drew McIntyre. This guy's
Listen,
he ain't that guy.
Drew
bro.
McIntyre is good, bro.
Nah, Drew McIntyre is that guy, bro. I think what he's doing right now. His heel work is amazing. He's got a great character.
I just
He's
don't
got
like-
a great
like-
storyline. I love the gimmick that he's trying to do right now, and with the whole Punk thing or what's going on with them, you could feel like there's real heat between them, and that's what makes good television. So it'll be interesting when Punk's healthy and he can come and wrestle again. Hopefully, he stays healthy, because Punkster can't stay healthy. He never has for a very long time. So. But hopefully they get it done. It's gonna be interesting. I think now that you have all these title changes, you have a champion in Cody Rhodes that's gonna be active. There's gonna be so much better storylines, and it unlocks so much different things you can do now. It's gonna be so interesting. It's just hard now that, especially after WrestleMania, this has always been like this. It's always slow right after WrestleMania, because you had that build up to WrestleMania was like, bro, all time great.
Yeah.
So now it's like that cooling period where a lot
well,
of
I
people
think
are going to start
in the
now.
summer. In the summer, it's gonna get really similar to like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know that March March run.
Yeah,
when it was
yeah,
just
yeah. No,
ridiculous.
100%. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this backlash thing is kind of like a filler made it.
I don't like that, bro.
PLE.
This whole like backlash. It's called like WrestleMania Backlash. No,
It used to be called that, but they removed that. So now
that's
it's just
the worst,
back.
bro. When they would just run it back. Oh, so bad.
Yeah, but they changed it up now.
I mean, that kind of
Which I like.
kills
Still pretty dry.
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
its value,
like
like-
I've always thought WrestleMania like should conclude.
It's like
Peace,
the end
you know
of
what I
the
mean?
season,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. It's kind of like Marvel, where you have like TV shows and you have this, and then WrestleMania is like Infinity War.
And the greatest backlash of all time, 2009 Backlash, Randy Orton.
Anyone who did he face? I think that was
I
against
think it was John Cena. I quit match.
John Cena. Oh yeah, that was really
No,
good.
that was
really
class.
I
good.
think.
Nah,
was
you're
class.
probably right. I think
What
I
a run
remember
that was. What a run.
Yeah, I think that's when John Cena got hurt. No, or was that a year before? I think that was a year before.
Year before. Randy
Yeah.
hurt him too.
Yeah. Nuts. Yeah, shout out Randy. Great argument to be the greatest wrestler of all time.
Oh, let's relax. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a good argument.
I think that's a good point for us to finish off. We hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and we will be back next time. We'll see you. Peace.